Coming to you from Blue Crew Studio in Temecula, California, it's the Whiskey Throttle Show, taking you inside the lives and careers of the legends and leaders of action sports. Today's guest is brought to you by Yamaha. Yamaha is the industry leader in 2- and 4-wheel fun and performance. Motocross, off-road, adventure, side-by-side, Yamaha sets the standard. Yamaha revs your heart. The Whiskey Throttle Show is presented by Motorsport.com. It doesn't matter if you like to pull a throttle cable on a dirt bike, street bike, side-by-side. Motorsport.com is putting riders first with parts, gear, and accessories, including some of our partners like Troy Lee Designs, Dunlop, Pro Circuit, and more. They offer first returns free on apparel so you can buy with confidence. And Motorsport.com offers fast, free shipping on all orders over $79. Make your next ride your best ride. Visit Motorsport.com. Troy Lee made a name for himself as the most elite helmet painter in all forms of motorsport racing. His ability to make a stationary object look fast is something rare. That creativity gave way to motocross and mountain bike gear, helmets, and an arsenal of protective equipment aimed at keeping racers on the track and out of a doctor's office. The 2025 TLD line is out, and it's as fast as ever. Troy Lee Designs, blending speed and style. Rockform, creators of the world's strongest magnetic phone case. They have mounts for your car, motorcycle, and bicycle, as well as universal mounts to adhere your phone to any surface. They also have screen protectors, power banks, stands, chargers, and more. And don't forget the G-Rock wireless golf speaker. Magnets adhere this powerful speaker to your cart, or any metallic surface for that matter, so you have tunes while you golf, work, or hang out. Rockform, always innovating the phone case market. Rockwell designs all their sunglasses in their U.S. headquarters in Utah. Then they are manufactured in Italy using the strictest craftsmanship standards, ensuring you get the best pair of sunglasses you've ever owned. From men's and women's designs, floatable, alloy frame, and a UV 400 rating, which blocks out 100% of UV rays, Rockwell has everything you need for you and your family. Use our code WT20 for 20% discount at checkout at rockwelltime.com. Hey folks, thanks for joining us here at the Whiskey Throttle Show in Blue Crew Studio. Super cool guest today. I'm excited to announce Myron Short. And if you don't know the name, Myron's been around in the industry a long, long time and is now the promoter for the Mammoth Motocross, SoCal Classic MX here at Fox Raceway, the Paula National, one of the owners of the BarX Yamaha Toyota Redlands race team. You got your hands on all kinds of stuff, man. So welcome. Glad to have you on.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's excited. I'd never really tell my story or talk to anybody, but it'd be fun.
Yeah, I mean, some of the best stories we hear on here are mechanics or just people that work in the industry because they get to see from a unique perspective all this stuff. And a promoter's perspective and race team owner's perspective, you've seen it, I'm sure, from a lot of different angles. So I'm excited to go through your story. We start everything with the motorsport.com gate drop. You guys get anything you need over at motorsport.com. They'll ship it right to you. Great deals, free shipping if you spend more than $100. They're awesome. And you can just get what you need right from your couch. Don't need to get up and deal with all the other stuff. Better pricing, all kinds of stuff. Motorsport.com. And hurry, motorsport.com/win. You can sign up and win a 450 that's been on display at the BarX truck all year. YZ 450 that's pretty sweet. Got all your guys' parts bolted on.
It'll be pretty good. It's got a lot of good stuff on it.
Yeah, people should be signing up. It's a great deal. Let's start with just tell me a little bit about your team, BarX, Toyota Redlands, Yamaha. You guys started, and we'll go into more details about the team, but you guys have had a great season so far. Breakout rides with Dylan up. I was cheering for him up at Washougal. I thought he was going to get third. I was hoping he could hang on to it. Got gobbled up by Garrett Marchbanks right at the end, but phenomenal ride. Parker Ross has been doing great. It's been a good season for you guys.
It has been a good year. We've had some unfortunate situations with Drake being sick and being hurt, and then other guys. We lost Bourdon during Supercross, but like these young kids, I mean, Dylan, missed all the Supercross because he had broke his finger getting ready and never quite healed, tried to come out and race, but these guys have had a fun summer.
What happened with Bourdon?
Bourdon broke his pelvis.
Oh.
Broke his pelvis and dislocated his hip. Supercross track training didn't work out.
How's recovery?
He's racing right now. He's doing good. He's shooting one the other day. He got, I think, a couple firsts and a second, and He's racing his French Championship,
Okay.
Supercross, and so on a Honda, it looks like he's doing pretty good.
Is it plan to come back or no? He's home.
He wants to come back. He calls me, shoot, 2 or 3 times a week. Me and Paul both. He tag teams us. He goes after us. It's just it was a hard transition from Suzuki to Yamaha. It was a lot of dollars that we didn't really anticipate it was going to cost us. I think it was more expensive than we thought. Our team has been here this is our 10th season, and we prided ourselves on paying our bills and making sure everything worked and not shorting anybody. And so we got to kind of put our budgets together and make sure we could afford another rider to come over here.
Yeah. Gotcha. Well, we're going to get into that race team stuff in more detail because I got a lot of questions. One of our partners, we share a mutual partner, as you mentioned, Paul over at Toyota Redlands, and he owns part of the race team. I didn't even realize that until way late into us talking. How did you guys connect? How did that all come to be?
Well, the weirdest thing, we connected through Jimmy Timbo.
Oh,
so
okay.
Jimmy Timbo, Cole Timbo's father, and he had a relationship with Paul because Paul was helping Cole Timbo out. And at the time, Buddy Antonez was our team manager.
Okay.
And so Buddy was training Cole. And so he had talked to Cole about coming onto our program. And then so Paul and Corey showed up at Anaheim 2. Jimmy Timbo was working because he works for Anaheim Fire.
Yep.
So he's working the event. So he brought him over to our truck and introduced us. And shoot, we sat down. Me and Paul really, kind-minded, and we kind of clicked right off. And we threw together a proposal. And within 2 weeks, he was a sponsor. So he kind of came on that season. And then we developed that relationship, me and him. And then come outdoor season, he became our title sponsor. And then we become really, really close. I had split up on the partnership I had in the race team, and at the time I was sole owner. And me and Paul kind of helped put together a program all winter, and he was helping me understanding the financial piece of it and really putting a business aspect to it that I really wasn't very good at. I was just kind of like, throttle down, let's go. Yeah. Whatever it takes. I'll spend every dollar I had in my bank account to make sure we were working.
Yeah.
I said, I'll make more money. And that's kind of was the model of making
typical
it
moto
work.
model, right? Just let's hammer.
Yeah. And my wife is rad. My wife never says, no, you're an idiot. She does say you're an idiot sometimes, but she doesn't say you're an idiot. We got to save our money. We got to do this. We got to put in 401k. She goes like, oh no, we need new pipes. Yeah. Where do we get them? She's all in, and she's like, she's the best. She's been there for me the whole time.
So now he owns part of the team, right? If I understand that right?
So come January, Supercross kicked off, and I told Paul I really told Corey I need to bring on a partner, and I'm thinking about bringing Paul on. And me and Paul sat down together in like 15 minutes. We put together a deal, and he pulled a checkbook out, wrote me a check, and said, I'm in. And I said, all right, well, let's put that in the bank. Let's get a new bank account and start over. And so Paul bought a percentage of the team. But Paul's, from day one, when Paul told me this, he is one of the raddest guys our industry ever met. And from day one, he told me, I don't know anything about this sport. I love this sport, but I do know business, and I do know you need to be in control of this team. So no matter what we sell or buy or bring in, you're going to remain controlling partner. And he built it all. He put it together. He did all the paperwork. He did everything. Mm-hmm. And he goes, okay, you're the CEO. You're 51% owner. And whoever we bring in, you're still going to be the owner. And so, and it's been a rad partnership. He's made the team grow in the best way, and he's allowed me to focus more on the team of what I need to do. But I had to make a few commitments too. So one of the commitments, I had to move. So from day one, it's like the team, the budgets were too big, the things, and I've been a distant owner for 10 years. I lived
still up north, you mean?
Yeah, I lived up north in Porterville, and me and my wife do 25 races a year, so we travel to the races, we do all the amateur stuff, and I was driving to Southern California on a Monday after working all weekend and staying Tuesday, Wednesday, and then driving back my wife is loading the motorhome, packing stuff, and we're headed to Sacramento, or we're headed back to Paula. We're headed somewhere for a race, and my life was just way, way too hectic. And so Paul said, you got to focus a little more. Our shop is here. We have a lot of employees. At the time, I think we had 10. And he goes, you need to be here. So we loaded up and moved our family.
Dang.
Well, we didn't really move our family. Our kids moved without us, so we just moved with our family.
Yeah.
We took our dogs.
Well, that's awesome. He's really, I don't know him super well. In fact, I was embarrassing at Washougal. We'd only talked on the phone. And so I didn't know what he looked like. So I go over to the truck at Washougal. I'm like, hey, I'm looking for Paul. And I'm talking to him.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I walked up to that
conversation. Oh, yeah, you did walk up. And
I walked up to that conversation.
I felt like an ass, but I just want to get to know the guy. And he's a police officer as well, right?
Yeah.
Palm Springs PD?
Yeah.
This guy's a stud. I want to get to know him better.
Redlands. He's in Redlands.
Oh, he's in Redlands?
Yeah, Redlands PD.
Okay. I thought he was doing...
He could be doing that too. He volunteers and does different stuff. And
okay.
He came from that side. His son was a police officer, and he has a building company. He has all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the new Toyota Tundra we have is insane. Nicest truck I've ever owned. It is amazing. And I love it when any company that's outside of dirt bikes gets involved and supports it, man. And I just tell people, support those people because we need them helping the sport along, helping teams along. I mean, this guy's all in. It's awesome.
And it is kind of crazy. There's been a lot of people in the industry buy cars from him. So, like, you see it, and he tells me, oh, hey, this guy just bought a car. Hey, I just sold a car to, David Dylan Ferrandis. He called him David Ferrandis the first day. I said, it was Dylan. And so I never met the guy. This guy called me. He wanted to buy a truck and said he'd wrap our logos if I just give him a discount. And, these people, like, I think Davey Millsaps bought a friggin' Prius from him the other day.
Yeah.
And I think these guys, and I know Sean bought a car from him from Rockstar. Like, all these guys are buying vehicles from him, and he loves it. It's like,
well, the dealership's beautiful. Like,
it is unreal.
And I don't know if it's just a Toyota cultural thing, but I went and bought leased another type of truck prior to this one. And the truck was okay, but the customer service at these other places I've been to is like not even close. Like, those guys just take care of you. I mean, you're treated like, I don't know, like you're something special when you're on there, and they do it to everybody. It's not just...
It's unreal. Just watch their Instagram. Their Instagram is so fun.
Yeah.
Just follow their Instagram, what they do. And, like, the first day I walked in there, and he had been a sponsor of the race team for a few months, probably 4 or 5 months. And I walked in on a Friday to get my truck serviced. And when I got my original truck, me and Drake got trucks the same day, and I had the tags at my house before I ever seen the vehicle, because they were working on it and stuff. And they delivered it to me at Glen Helen one day, and my nephew drove it before I ever drove it. But the first time I ever went in the dealership, I go in there, and there's 100 people working at any day or more. Every one of them is wearing a BarX Toyota Redlands Polo.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow. Like,
that's cool.
It was a Friday, and like on Fridays, they all wear Bartlett.
The team stuff?
The team, team polos.
Yeah, it's cool. Any moto fan, if you're looking for a vehicle, go check them out. That's really cool. They're involved. Well, we'll talk more about that when we get to some more of the team. Quick reminder to get over to WhiskeyThrottleMedia.com. All kinds of stuff there, guys. Moto, off-road, dual sports stuff. Anything that's two wheels and dirt, we're in. Also, if we have events, we're going to have a live show coming up here in Big Bear. Live Code Red. This is going to be a lot of fun. We got some special guests. Mike Metzger and Bo Manley are going to come on with GL and I. Cocktails will be happening. It will be interesting. But all that info is over at WhiskeyThrottleMedia.com. Our guest is brought to you by Yamaha, which is fitting because he runs a Yamaha race team. So tell me a little bit about your background, dude. You grew up in Porterville, born and raised?
Born and raised in Porterville. I lived there.
Okay.
52 years till I left, right before my 53rd birthday.
And for people who don't know, this is just suburb of Sacramento, yeah? Like
No. It would be more like, the easiest way to say it, everybody knows where Bakersfield is. Fresno. We're 50 miles north of Bakersfield and about 80 miles south of Fresno.
Oh,
right
okay.
in the middle, out in farmland.
Oh, geez, okay. So I don't even know where it is.
Yeah, it's in the middle.
So you're in the middle of nowhere.
Middle of nowhere. I mean, we're sucked up against the Sears, but yeah, we're in the middle of nowhere.
It's pretty. I mean, it's farmland, right?
It is. It's farmland. Yeah. It's beautiful. You're, 35 minutes from the snow and the mountains and 2.5 hours from the coast, though, so that's kind of like
Yeah.
hot. Oh,
It's
my
hot,
God.
yeah.
People talk about it being hot here, and I said, hot? You go in the shade every day. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, Porterville, we go like 25, 30 days over 100. And the problem is, if it's 105 in Porterville, it's only 95 at night.
Yeah, right. You guys don't cool down.
No.
No ocean breeze. You can get up the Sierras. We used to go to Hume Lake. I'm sure you've been up that way.
So that's above us. So Hume Lake would be
Off of Fresno.
off of Fresno, so that's probably an hour and a half on Porterville.
But it's pretty up there, man.
Oh,
There's
it's
some
beautiful.
crazy
There's
stuff.
so many. There's 25 lakes around Porterville
Yeah.
that you can go to within 2 hours.
So what were you into as a kid? Were you,
As a kid?
before you got into dirt
Yeah.
bikes, were you just...
As a kid, I was just a kid, you
Yeah.
know, riding bicycles, local jumps at the corner, and
Firecrackers and cats' butts?
oh
I guess.
yeah, 100%. Always getting in trouble, and I played marbles. I loved to play marbles as a kid. My grandfather, I lived with my grandparents. My grandpa was a big marble guy. And the bus stop was in front of my house, and everybody come to the bus stop. We lived in a little called the Village Garden, a little bitty neighborhood, 2 roads, but there was 50 kids in there.
Okay.
So my grandpa would go out there and he groomed all the ground and he made all these marble holes. I mean, multiple marble holes. I mean, perfectly professional marble holes.
Okay.
My grandpa would get them all dialed in, and he'd come home. He's a truck driver, and he'd bring bags and bags of marbles home, and he would give them to all the kids.
Okay.
And then they would let them all play for him. And then one guy was better than everybody, and he'd take all the marbles, and when he won all the marbles from everybody in the neighborhood, he'd roll them down the road and let everybody get all marbles back then. So, I mean, I was just normal.
Yeah.
Rode 3-wheelers every day, motorcycles, and
So how'd you get introduced to bikes?
my Uncle Bobby really introduced me to bikes mainly, and then I rode when I was little, and then when I was like 6, I lived with my grandparents, but I didn't live with my parents at all. And my grandparents and my uncle, Mike Firestone, his best friend was Rod Perone, and they had a single child, and we were the same age, 3 months apart. So we grew up as stepbrothers our whole life. So I basically lived with that family, and the dad built Harleys for pro flat trackers. And he was a mechanic, Harley mechanic, and he built boats. He built everything. He was like a painter, like just a jack of all
trades, yeah.
I mean, he built painted drag boats, and he would win best of paint, best of show, and he was just like, he'd build anything. He has a Easy Rider magazine, the chopper. He built the Hun chopper that's in the centerfold of the magazine, and he built everything by hand. They'd build the forks by hand, and so we grew up working with our hands and riding. And he'd build us a flat track bike. If we didn't have a bike to ride, he'd build one that night to go race the next day. And so I grew up riding and racing, and me and Craig we just had fun. We didn't matter what it was, we would race it. And in our front yard, we used to put on our own races at 10. And
so the promoting thing
so
was...
maybe there was only 4 of us. We still ran races. And it didn't matter if it was a go-kart with a little orange crush in it sometimes to make it run a little better.
Sure.
A Prix.
Oh, yeah, Honda Spree.
Could be an XR50. And it could be a YZ85. And we figured out how to get a class with all of them.
Run what you brung.
Run what you brung.
Yeah.
We'd handicap it. We'd put some cones out there, and we'd do this in the DG half lot circles. And then if you're on the Yamaha, sometimes you had to go around the building and back, but we figured it even. So, we started promoting at a young age. So me and Craig did all this.
That's hilarious.
And it just kind of escalated to school, and then...
Did you have any siblings?
I do have a bunch of real siblings, like 7 of them.
Oh.
But I only at the time lived with my sister. My older sister lived with my grandparents with me. And when I got older, my mother and my stepdad, it was a rad gentleman. He got all the kids back together when I was like 15.
So you didn't really know them or have a relationship with them?
I knew them. I didn't have a real relationship with them. We did know each other really well. Like when I seen my little brothers all the time, didn't see my little sister all the time, and I lived with my older sister up.
Yeah.
But my stepdad, he was a landscaper, and he got all my kids together. Got my mom together, got everybody, and he welcomed my dad into the fold too. So my mom, my dad, and my stepdad were all 3 best friends.
Well, that's cool.
So until they all 3 passed away in the last 4 or 5 years, but
Sorry to hear that.
It's life, I guess. But so that's how it got all together.
So you guys still keep in touch then, all the kids?
Yeah.
All your brothers and sisters?
Yeah. Yeah, we all talk.
Oh, good. So, all right, take us into a little bit older. When did racing ever get serious for you? Where you were like,
Well, it got serious when I was little. No, not really, because at the time we just did motocross, and I wasn't the best motocrosser at the time, but we did flat track and got a little serious in that. So when I got older into high school, it got pretty serious because I got into off-road.
when were you born? Just so I can have a reference.
1971.
So, okay, you're 4 years older than me. Okay.
Yep. So when we got older into high school, we got into off-road. And so I worked for a dealership called Prix Cycles, and they were all into the desert.
Okay.
So I got really good at off-road motocross, off-road desert racing. So I got pretty serious into desert probably in the 88, 89, 90, 91, 92 to like 94.
Okay.
I quit in 94, got hurt pretty good and kind of hung it up.
What district is it up there?
37.
Okay.
So we raced all out in the desert, District 37.
Gotcha.
So it was fun. We did all that, and we raced at at the highest level at the time. But usually the problem is then at the highest level, it's like, yeah, we may be racing Ty Davis and Danny Hamill and these guys, but we weren't smart. We'd drink beer all night long. Sometimes we'd drink till 2 a.m. and go out there and figure out how to get third or fourth overall the next day, and
You're pumped on
in
it.
the extra class, and it's like, yeah, man, if I wouldn't have drank, I might have got a second. You never know. But it was fun.
Yeah. So, there's got to be some fun stories in there, huh? Just going to race.
There's some
Were you
crazy-
promoting any events during that time, or you were just kind of focused on racing?
At that point, I was just racing. So when I was younger, we used to go work at the local motocross track, Spinners. And so I was like 12, 13. I remember I wasn't big enough to drive, so Craig would drive the water truck, a big 4,000-gallon water truck, and had a cannon on it. Well, it wasn't auto cannon back then, so I'd stand on the top of it, spraying water the flat track for the half mile. So I did that when I was little and was into that part of it, but I always did kind of want to promote races. And so the track in Porterville closed down for years and years and years, and it got opened back up in the early 90s, maybe 89, 90. They opened it back up, the motocross side of it only. And
That's Spinners? Is that what you're talking
yeah,
about?
Spinners.
Where is like Oatfield?
Oatfield would be a few hours north.
Oh, okay, still further.
Yeah, Oatfield.
Okay, I'm trying to think of what else is around
Yeah,
you.
DT1, the
DT1.
Timmerman's Park.
Yeah.
It's 40 minutes away, 35 minutes away. So it was the only track in the valley. And
Okay.
they used to have Transcal back there, all the stuff. It was a really popular track. I actually met Donnie Lewis. He came and raced pro three-wheelers at our parents' track when they had it when they were younger.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. So, but
Pull that up just a touch closer about. There you go.
like there.
Yeah.
So, fast forward, I did a little bit. Me and a buddy of mine, Brian Holmes, and Mike Johnson, we decided we were going to run some races. So we created a company called Central Valley Racing. And I just got done racing, so this has got to be like 94,
Okay.
95, 94.
And so were you working any other jobs or going to school?
Yep, I did have a job. I really had the only job I worked for. I sold outdoor power equipment for Honda.
Okay.
So I worked for a company there. We sold lawnmowers and chainsaws and all that kind of stuff.
Okay. Not moto specific, just Honda
No
products.
moto stuff. And I did deal with motorcycle shops and all this stuff. So I get like-kind people, and I loved it. It was a great job. And then I did that. I'd worked at the local motorcycle shop and then went to that. That's the only really 2 jobs I ever had. And I quit that to go to work for myself. But we were doing some local races, and then Aaron Pipes, that owns HEP, his sister, Dana, taught me how to score races.
Okay.
So we're going to run these races, and I called Pipes up one day. I said, well, he's a promoter in the area. And I said, well, I don't know what to do. I said, I know how to organize a race, but how do you score it?
Is Aaron Dusty's dad?
Yeah, Dustin's dad.
Okay.
Yeah, they're the owner of HEP.
Yeah.
So we only live an hour apart. And he goes, well, come down here, Dana. I'll teach you how to do it. So still to this day, Dana and me are still friends. But Dana taught me how to score my first race.
Okay.
She even gave me the sheets. They were 4-part sheets. You'd write them all down. They'd go through all of them. And so I learned from her how to score races. And then I'd quit doing races because I started a company with a guy named Richard Grogan Crane. It was XTRM. It was actually X-Bucks.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
In Supermoto.
Yeah, we own Supermoto.
Okay.
So you don't even know that.
Well, I'm just putting it together.
So you don't remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so So we had a company called Xbox, and we ended up getting sued from Microsoft for name being too close to Xbox.
Oh.
But so Gavin Tripp Sr. come to me and said, hey, we got this Supermoto product. We were a venture-funded company at the time, and said, you want to get back into promoting races? And I knew Gavin Sr., and I said, yeah, it sounds like a rad deal. And he goes, so what do you do? And he goes, we're talking about Supermoto. And he goes, I said, okay, well, I know Bill Cumbo from AMA. I said, let's go to Bill Cumbo. And basically, AMA gave us the rights to run the series. We were pretty stupid at the time because the series was dying. There was no spectators or fans going anymore. But we dove
What
in.
year would that have been?
I think our first year would have been 97.
Okay.
Right at the end of 97. So we ran the 97, 98, I guess 99. No, maybe I'm wrong. I'm saying 2007.
2007. The sport started dying.
07. 07.
Yeah,
Not
like
97,
08.
07.
The,
so I'm wrong. So
the housing
07,
crash.
yeah, 07, 08. And then we ran, I can't even remember if we ran the 09 series or not, or was 08 the last year.
Okay.
Infineon Raceway was the last race. Or was it the Morongo
Sonoma?
Casino?
Oh, okay. I
No,
raced them both. I was
know,
there.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't remember which one was the last one. Was it Morongo, or was it the double header we did at Infineon?
I think it was Sonoma.
Sonoma was the double header. We did
Yeah.
a double header and was the last race. I remember you guys had that young kid coming up the 250 class was going to go after you. What was that kid's name? Man, he was good. He was a road racer.
Pasquarella?
Pasquarella, yeah, road racer. He came over road race.
His dad was a badass moto guy.
Oh, well, I remember it was kind of loose back then. So my stepbrother Craig, he was good at everything he ever touched his whole life. So we were running a race at Fontana. Remember we did the race in Fontana? My brother calls me up and goes, hey, I bought this supermoto bike the other day. I traded the street bike and some others. I got the supermoto bike. I went and raced. I want to come race Fontana. I said, well, it's a pro race. He goes, well, and? And I'm like, I said, well, he goes, okay. So I go over to Bill Cumbo. I said, hey, my brother wants to come race. He goes, well, you understand this is pro supermoto. What class you going to ride? And he's going to ride the Oldman class. He got some supermoto bike last week. Has he rode it? He goes, he said he rode it last week. And I said, he goes, isn't he good? I said, he's good at everything he's ever done. And I said, I promise you he won't embarrass nobody. And he was like, well, you know it's going to rain this weekend. I said, Cumbo, just give him a license. He won't embarrass nobody. So he shows up. Josh Chisholm. He's like, you're really going to let him race? I said, he's going to be pretty good. Qualified third.
What's his name?
Craig Perrone. And he only raced 3 races. Qualified third. And he come out there, he ran third the whole moto in the main event. And Chisholm passed him on the last lap to get on the podium. And he ended up getting fourth that day. And then he knocked himself out in South Point Casino. And he goes, I'm never riding that bike again. He just quit. that's how he did it. But he was good at everything he ever did. And I remember that's how loose the program was then. We can give anybody a license.
Yeah, it's a shame about Supermoto because
it's a fun sport.
God, man, we had so much fun in that 05 to 08 window,
Yeah.
And there was just the series of events of kind of someone mismanaged Red Bull money.
We did a race at Qualcomm Stadium during the X Games. We promoted that.
That was Moto X World Championships.
Moto
right?
X World Championships. How
You
cool
promoted
was that?
that?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
We did the Supermoto piece of it because we had owned Supermoto.
Yeah.
So, it was so rad.
Yeah.
I remember they built the stage coming down off of the steps, and everybody's like, "Oh no, we're gonna do that." Before that was over, you guys were wheeling down it.
Yeah. Yeah, running up out the tunnel. It was cool. It was really cool. It's just a shame it went tits up. Okay, so
from that point, I started. So kind of before that, go back a couple years in 2004, when I first went to work myself, I had started a motocross coupon book.
okay.
And so it was just going to be like an Amway book. You just open it up and have all these discounts. I still have one in my house. Have all these discount stuff. So I reached out to the only one I knew was Rick Johnson. Hey, can you help me do this? And Rick goes, well, I'll put my name on it. I'll help you. So he got me into Mammoth Motocross to have a booth.
Okay.
So I met Mike Colbert in 2004, the last Mammoth Motocross ever. So we instantly just clicked. And then I told Mike, I said, well, I could help you with a lot of the stuff. And so from then on, I never left. So '04, I ended up helping him work at the races, and I might have helped Piper on the starting line and different stuff. And I had this motocross book we're selling, but nobody was buying this book. It was like the internet was on the edge. This book was way beyond its time.
Yeah.
I mean, I quit my job making $100,000 a year to do this book. Not the smartest idea.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it any different way.
That's entrepreneurship, man. Like,
yeah. I told my wife one day, we had young kids, and I said, I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to do this motocross book. She was like, yeah, whatever. You always made money. You'll figure it out. She never wavered. But
I don't think people understand like the resolve, the guts, the balls that it takes to just go, well, I have this secure job. It's not great. I don't love it or whatever, but I want to do this for myself. I'm just doing it. Like I'm walking away from all security and safety.
Oh yeah. Walking away from
let's
all.
just go for it. Yeah.
And, at the time, you're young. You're not the smartest person. Like, if I could do it all over again, I probably wouldn't have refinanced my house and poured more money into it. So I just spent the money the same as like I did before.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we need cars? Yeah, let's buy a car. I wasn't that smart. I've learned a lot, and hopefully my kids are smarter from it. But I just dove in, and we did this thing. So me and Mike Colbert really
clicked
hit
right
it
on.
off.
Okay.
And then so the next year I said, well, let me help you with the registration. So we built an online registration system, and so we built all this. We took the paper faxing in to online, and then it just kind of evolved. Like Road to Mammoth came up as an idea for a couple years. Like Mammoth Mountain has this little bitty hole up there in Mammoth, and they ran a motocross race. And they were like, well, there's no reason for us to sustain this or keep going. So like even though it was going to close down for years from the track getting closed down, and then it was going to close down the years because the mountain didn't care about moto. Like they're a ski resort. They're not a moto
That seems
company.
crazy. That's got to bring in a lot of money to that town.
To the town, but the mountain don't own the town. The mountain owns the mountain. So if it's not bringing hotels to the mountain property that they own, that's the only advantage they get, or somebody spending money at the village, on the couple of restaurants they own, but they don't own all that. So nobody's snow skiing during the time. So where is the resources for the mountain at the time? So, Russell Gregory and these guys are like, well, what do we do? Like, it doesn't make sense to continue to do this event. So me and Colbert come up with this idea. I still have some good pictures of it. It's one night we just drinking around the bar at employee housing, and 2:00 in the morning we created Road to Mammoth. So we could expand this series to the whole year. And that's what we did. So we did Road to Mammoth, and it was pretty bad the first year. Like, people's like, oh, we don't want to do it. What is it? We had races with like 100 people. And then I said, well, we can't go to these markets. I got to go partner with these other markets and not just try to take over. And so we went into the promoters and said, hey, we'll have this event, but I'll just partner with you on it. So we created relationships with like Corky Azevedo and these people and Zeb Armstrongs and these different guys. Hey, let's just partner. Actually, Craig Davis in Southern California had the BarX series. So we partnered on races. Well, then a couple years into it, BarX sold to Transworld Motocross. Then they become our competitor. So, we did Road to Mammoth for all these years, but everything at the mountain is evolved. And the dollars have got out of control from what it costs to put it on. So, like, we went through a lot of rocky times over the last 4 or 5 years. Is the event going to continue? And
really? Because I went to the year, you're talking about '04, when everyone's like, this is it.
Yeah.
The lease is expiring. They're not going to get it renewed.
So we don't have that problems no more.
Okay.
Never again. That's locked in. So they're never going to take that away. But
it's got to make money.
Okay, but just think what everybody says, like medical. 10 years ago, medical probably cost $2,500 for the event.
For insurance?
No, for the medics.
Bring in medics. Okay,
EMTs,
gotcha.
Medics, and all this stuff. We didn't even have a medic on staff. We just had ski patrol. Never had ambulances there. The hospital's down the road. This is how it was back in the day. Now, that medical bill is $45,000. So you go $2,500 to $45,000. We never had bulldozers on the track before. We just prepped it with freaking old loaders from the Raceway and from the mountain.
Yeah.
Ski that stuff costs nothing. Now it costs $20,000 to bring in dozers, and then $15,000 for operators, and everything's involved. I mean, trophies alone used to cost nothing, $1 or $2 a piece, and now they're $20 a piece. The Bears are $110 a piece.
The big
They
ones,
used to be 40.
Yeah.
But everybody wants more money. You know, I used to build a pool in Porterville for 20 grand for a customer and make money. We could hire the subs, build a pool, and make money. You can't build a pool for 140 grand now.
Mm. Yeah, it seems to be the way of everything. I mean, just everything's gotten, even the price of food is out of control. Like, I go to the grocery store and I just go, what? The number just keeps going up and up. So it's everything.
It's $18 to go to McDonald's.
Yeah.
One person, $18.
Order a pizza. That's the thing pissed me off the worst. I'm like, really? For pizza?
We ordered a large pizza and a medium pizza, and we had it delivered to the house, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago. I've never did it again because we did it a couple times. It was a great pizza, Mount Mike's.
Yeah.
It was $105 by the time it got delivered.
Yeah.
2 pizzas.
Yeah.
So that's what's happened to the price of events. You know, when we started Road to Mammoth, we started out $55 an entry. We were the highest by far. We weren't going to charge for transponders, nothing. To this day, we're in our 15th year. We still charge $55. Never have raised the price. Now, granted, we started out before. I used to pay my workers $100 a day. I don't care if you worked 2 hours or 17. They made $100. They didn't get travel money. We'd load it up all in one pickup and would drive, and a trailer I would tow. And that's all I could afford to pay.
Yeah.
Today, my minimum wage guy is just the flagger that's a volunteer, makes $150 to $175. Those other guys are making $250 a day. Plus they're getting travel per diem and food. It's like the costs are so high. Insurance used to be like $400 for a day, race day. Now insurance is $1,500. And then if you have multiple day events, it's $1,500 every day. So before it used to be $400 if you had a practice day. Okay, a practice is okay. Or it's $80 for your practice. Now it's triple. And so those costs have got out of control.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of the tracks locally here. If you just raise their prices for practice days, and everybody's losing their minds about it. But it's like when you start to talk to a guy, even equipment, you know, those rippers on the back or the you know, different implements they use, that stuff wears out like really fast, actually.
Especially when a bulldozer, a D5 bulldozer, 10 years ago was 70 grand. It's 170 now.
Is it real? Look at trucks.
Yeah.
I bought my first full-size Chevy truck for $20,000.
I bought a CR250 for $3,100.
Yeah, we sound like old guys.
You know what I'm saying? There was $3,100. But you know, I had a guy yell at me, not this year, but last year. He come to me, and he was an older gentleman, and he chewed on me for 20 minutes. And Casey McCoy and Michelle, Casey is the president of Mammoth, or VP. I don't know what his title is right now. He's
Dave's son?
Grandson.
Okay.
Dave McCoy is one of the bosses, and then Michelle is the marketing director, and they were sitting there listening to this guy chew on me. He was chewing on me that he had to buy a wristband to get into the track, a gate fee. He goes, I haven't paid a gate fee as a racer at Mammoth ever in my whole life. And I said, do you understand if we don't charge, the event's gone? Do you want to keep coming? And I said, every event in the world charges a gate fee. And I said, what do you do? What do you do for a living? And we talked about it, and he built houses. And I said, well, I know when I was a kid, my dad would stepdad would build houses or build anything, and they could build it for like $65 a square foot. And that was when the price got high. I said, what do you guys charge? Oh, it's like $350 to $500 a square foot now. I said, so you guys have had a big inflation. And I said, do you work for the same wage that you did 20 years ago? And he was absolutely not. And he stopped in his tracks and he goes, I think you're painting a picture here that I need to stop being a tight ass and pay the $25 and come in the track. And I said, I'm just letting you know things have changed, right?
Yeah.
He goes, yeah. He goes, you are right. Everything is more expensive. I said, that means every person that works for us or everything that we try to provide costs us more money.
Yeah.
And the only way is to raise the prices. So some of these tracks, like, you're probably going to see some $50 gate fees. I mean, I think you see it like
Paris is already doing it.
Yeah, Paris is $50, but it's not like, and really Paris is very unique because the gentlemen that own Paris, they don't care if they lose $2,500 a piece a month or $5,000 a month. So Scott and his partner, if they had to throw in $2,500 or $3,000 to pay the bills every month to Paris, they'd never care. It would never bother them. So they're not even trying to make money. So when they're having to raise the price, they're just showing you like, hey guys, it costs us
we're
much.
not willing to lose this much money.
Yeah, we're not really. We don't want to give $10,000 away a month each, but we'll give $2,500 away, and so they're not working on a profit. I mean, Paula Raceway, they haven't raised their price to $50, but it's a pretty unique situation over there.
It is unique, and I worry through the cost of insurance, especially that we're going to lose a lot of our tracks. And the only place you're going to be able to put one is on an Indian reservation, just because you have that additional buffer.
Yeah, you have the buffer, but, absolutely. Like DT1 has been struggling for a few months because they're involved in a lawsuit of a parent that was completely negligent and stuck their 10-year-old on the track with the big bikes. And they have signs up. They have everything. They've separated practice at DT1 for 25 years, maybe longer. As long as I've rode there when I was young. And this guy was an ex-pro racer, and he stuck his 10-year-old out there with the big bikes. And lap 2, the kid got landed on. And he got hurt. He's perfectly fine, but he's suing the track. And insurance, and they almost closed last week.
Is that right?
Because their insurance literally went from $45,000 a year to operate the track just for practice to $110,000. So we're not talking small numbers.
Yeah.
We're talking big numbers.
Yeah, that's all your profit plus,
It's more than the profit. So, they did work it out. It's LACR is dealing with the same thing. I mean, their insurance quotes are like $140,000.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you've paid attention. Arizona Cycle Park had to close for a little while. I think Riverside and some of those tracks in SAC shut down for a window trying to figure it out.
Zeb did because he didn't get his insurance renewed, and it's a great family. The Armstrong family is a great family. Old man Dell is a great dude, and they have money. And he told his son one day and said, you know what, son, let's just pay the prime. It's called prime insurance. And it was like $150,000. So it was like huge numbers. He goes, pay it. If we got to pay it for 2 or 3 months to get back open, and these places have a place to ride, we'll pay the higher price, but don't sign a year contract. And they've been paying the higher price, and I don't know for sure if they've got their insurance rewrote yet. They're still waiting on K&K to rewrite their insurance. I know they had a quote a month ago, but they've just bit the bullet. And
why this big sudden jump in cost? And it seemed like it hit all the tracks. I don't know about nationwide, but at least out here in the Southwest.
No, it nationwide.
It is?
It's nationwide. It's not.
What's
really,
the jump from? Why all of a sudden is it doubling?
Well, there was a company called Coaction, and they're an insurance broker. They owe me $12,000 right now. And they were an underwriter, and they went to AMA, and they wrote all the AMA insurance.
Okay.
Well, sequentially, they wrote other track insurance. Like K2 is a big broker here from Southern California. There's a guy out of Arizona, Sheets, and all these different guys bought insurance through Coaction. Coaction decided, because lawsuits, AMA's got all the statistics. They used to be null, like nothing. You had 2 or 3 a year. They jumped up from the new people in our sport from the age 8 to 14. Quadrupled.
The number of injuries and claims?
Mm-hmm. Claims. They went through the moon. And people, I believe in my heart, the insurance companies don't want to fight. It's so expensive to fight. They just settle with you. Mm-hmm. So people think, I could file a lawsuit. They're going to settle with me. And that's kind of what happened. And they jumped up that basically the lawsuits are putting us out of business. So Coaction came back and said, hey, we're not going to write any insurance for minors. Told AMA, and they're like, well, 80% of our sport is minors. You can't, so they wouldn't cover minors, so they pulled out of the market. So when they pulled out of the market, it put all the pressure on K&K. So when K&K had all the pressure, there was really nobody else.
So they can control the pricing.
Yeah, Safehold got pulled out, and this prime company came in, and they just freaking went to the moon on the price. Well, here's the risk, and then the prices just got out of control all in a matter of 3 months. So weird thing is, I think a lot of these facilities and different people back east and other places are maybe just kind of like have liability insurance and don't have race insurance, and they think they're just kind of living on, oh, you're in my club, you're in this, but the club thing doesn't help.
It doesn't.
Well, it doesn't, because everybody's a member of AMA. So you're already a member of a club and they're suing. So the club thing is not, it's not a buffer.
Is there, there are instances where the track, and I've heard some of these lawsuits where like they drove a water truck out onto the track while practice was going on, guy hits it. It's like, okay, that's gross negligence. Like, I get it. But if you're out, you signed the waiver, you went in, you crashed. To me, it's like, you know what you're out here doing. Does our legal system not have a common sense component to it where they can just go, you signed the waiver, right? Do you know motocross was a dangerous sport? Yes. Okay. So you're just suing because you're sad you got hurt or your kid got hurt. Like, no, we're not going to hear this. Was it gross? Like, it's like if you can't prove gross negligence on the track's behalf, I feel like it should just be thrown out. But it's not the case. And like you said, I think they just settle.
It should be. I had a guy at the Pro National 01, maybe 02, because it just got settled a couple months ago. This guy showed up 8 o'clock in the morning. He goes directly to the VIP booth. Super ticket. Plops down. So Kenny Watson's first guy on the radio. He goes, hey guys, we got a guy who won't move. He's in this. I didn't really go there, and I was working doing their stuff. So security went over there, and Ryle was over there, and Ryle told the guy, he goes, I'm not going to move. I'm plopped down right here. And he goes, no, you're in a super ticket area. You got to get out. He argued with him. He told the security guy, I'm not moving. You need to move me. Period. Argued with him. Fought with him. So they escorted him out of the property, off of the VIP booth, out the front gate, kicked him out. His grandson, his son stayed. They moved out, no problem. Just this old vet dude wouldn't get him moved. He walked 2 miles all the way back down to the bottom gate. Come again, he was drunk. We're talking 8:45 in the morning, drunk. He starts complaining to the security guy on the bottom of what happened up there, trying to file a complaint that he got removed for no reason. And that guy goes, well, you're in the VIP booth. He goes, well, I would have moved. They never asked me to. And the guy that removed him was the owner of the security company. 3 months later, he filed a $4 million lawsuit.
What?
Yes, $4 million lawsuit.
For what? Claiming what are the damages?
He had just had back surgery. And my guy hurt him by moving him. And he was going to have another back surgery. And I said, well, his back didn't hurt enough to walk down the rocky hill, walk all the way up, climb the fence and sneak his way in, because they have a photo of him in there watching the whole race. The rest of the day, he won in court.
So that's what I'm saying.
They settled with this guy.
How does that happen? And that's what's killing us. And how does that happen?
I don't know how to fix it. And you got to be like Australia. They tell me in Australia, Wes tells me in Australia, if you file a lawsuit in Australia, you 100% have to pay all costs. A lawyer cannot work for free. So there's no frivolous lawsuits. In the U.S., they're allowed to work for free, pro bono. They can't do it there. And if you lose, you 100% have to pay the defendant's lawyer cost and all court costs. He goes, nobody sues. He goes, unless you have a slam dunk case and you're making money, and the high patrolman went backwards down the freeway and hit you head on, and you're suing.
Yeah.
Other than that, you're not suing. You're not going to slip and fall in Target and say, oh, I didn't see the wet sign. I blew my back out. I need $100,000.
Yeah. This coffee's too hot.
Yeah, coffee's too hot, McDonald's guy. That doesn't happen. And here, I know in Arkansas, they passed a new law that if you walk on the premises of anything like amusement park or racetrack, you absolutely cannot sue.
So California doesn't have, they don't know that you
There's
always.
5 states that's passed that so far, and hopefully that'll get
Catch
across
on.
all our states.
Okay.
And then
I have another question. So I've heard this, and maybe you know more about it, especially working with Mammoth, that if you're on a ski area or an equestrian area, for those two sports specifically, and you get injured, you can't sue. Like, no one can sue Mammoth Mountain. Is that accurate?
I don't believe so. I haven't heard that because I think that would protect us at this is considered a ski area where we race motorcycles, but that's basically what is going on in Arkansas and these other states. There's 6 states that have adopted that. Like if you go to an amusement park or you go somewhere, you can't sue them. You're taking the risk when you walk on the property. So maybe
That's how it should be. It's just
that's how it should be. If you're gonna go and these people that go to the sport, they know it's dangerous. They know what they do. Somebody says, "Oh, that tree's there." Well, the tree's been there for 55 years. Don't run into it. Granted, as our sport, we've evolved and we've got better. We've got way better of moving things and creating things. And you looked at before, like the things we did, we closed one eye and just went.
Yeah.
And now the sport has got safer, but the speeds have got higher and it is a little more dangerous and things happen. But it's a tough sport. It's a tough sport to make a living at, and it's a tough sport to do what I do every day and then think you want to go ride a motorcycle also.
Do you ride anymore?
I don't. Yeah. And I am going to get a dual sport. I do want to ride. I've been riding my mountain bike. I got to get my fat ass in shape a little bit. Jamie Ellis is kind of challenging me. I'm going to have to do a marathon if I can't get to 190 by November 1st. So
that's terrible. Don't do that.
Well, I don't know what else to do. I mean, I made the bet. I made the bet first and I lost. So I got to be honest. I did make the bet that it would be 190 by Mammoth. Well, I had to race Mammoth. And I told Jamie, he ordered me gear and everything, and he even put on Twisted Myron Schwartz going to race and some stupid ad. And I did lose, and I'm a man of my word. I'm going to bet. So when I get there, well, my buddy Matt Schumann, he rides once a year, and he likes to ride Mammoth, and Matt threw it neutral going about 4 miles an hour.
Oh, yeah, you told me that.
Went over the bars, punctured his lung, and freaking spent like 4 days in the hospital. I told Jamie, he's doing 4. I said, I'm not going to go 4. It's all he was going 4 miles an hour. He's in the hospital. I am not riding a motorcycle. I said, we're going to come up with a new bet. So I said, it's going to be way safer. And so by the time the end of Mammoth was up, drinking got involved, and I asked for I appealed the suspension, and I asked for an extension. And so I got till November 1st, and the consequences is I have to run a half marathon. What, 13 miles or something?
It's a long ways, dude.
So I can't make it. There's no way.
Yeah. Are your knees and ankles?
Oh, my knees are gone. I've had 5 knee surgeries. They blow my knees out. And
that's terrible. You better renegotiate again. Well, I hope, man, I hope something common sense can happen. Like maybe that catches on throughout other states, but it's definitely killing our sport. And like you said, our sport's tiny. I think people have a misconception about the money that a track owner or promoter makes. I mean, there are nationals, I think, make a little bit of money. You can attest to that later, but there's also a lot of work that goes into that. There's a lot of liability that goes into that. You're taking a lot of risk. And our sport, just generally speaking, is pretty small, and it's hard to make a living in here. And like you said, I see a guy like Brownie get hurt, and I'm like, ooh, what am I doing? I should definitely roll off.
And he's grinding to make a living.
Yeah.
So you got to think, this is, Brownie is a great dude. I love talking to him, and he's a great human for our sport, but he's grinding to make a living. He's out there working in the heat every day and training kids and riding and probably help develop on the bike a little bit. Say, hey, the bike does this. Let's figure it out. And these guys work hard in this industry, and this industry's not easy.
No.
I mean, I watched a human being was one of the best guys ever, owned a dealership in the 80s and 90s, Pritchett Cycles. It was through the moon and ended up taking his own life because of flooring cost. You know, these dealerships, everybody thinks, oh, they're making so much money. Just sit down with GL for an hour and talk about flooring bills. You know,
Well,
you
it's
realize,
stressful.
you know, they're 12, 13, 14 grand a month and just interest only. That's just pure profit on bikes sitting on the floor. And you see these dealerships that are in trouble, and it's hard. It's a tough sport. I can't even imagine going back to Toyota Redlands and figuring out what their flooring costs are. But
Yeah, but at least people have to, you need a car.
you need a car. You
gotta
don't need a dirt bike.
You don't need a dirt bike.
And you don't need a $17,000 street bike either.
No, you don't. No, you don't. So yeah. Anyway, tough deal. Okay, so your events, you got Mammoth, you have the SoCal Classic, right?
The California Classic.
Cal Classic. Sorry.
Yeah, California Classic. We do a fall version of that too, called a Fall Classic.
Okay. What other events are you promoting? We'll get to the national stuff too.
So I do. We own the Road to Mammoth.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is how many events?
It's 6 events.
Okay.
And then we do 7 to 9 Loretta qualifiers.
Okay.
Loretta Lens, and then we do a couple regional championships for Lorettas. We're probably the only promoter in the country that do more than 1 or 2. So we do those events, and then we do the California Classic. We do the Fall Classic. We do Mammoth, of course, it's 10 days. We do. We've been working on an off-road event for the last couple of years, but
Okay.
I've kind of wanted to do a spin on. I've been trying to convince Kerry Coombs to let's do West Coast GNCC, but I don't know if I really need all the other work. I do. I work pretty heavily at Fox Raceway right now, so I help them on a daily basis of the operation piece of it, of the track. I've kind of helped 6 or 7 months ago, kind of stepped in to help with some permit stuff, and then I work pretty heavily with them because I have a vested interest there for the national, and we work year round on the national there. So then we do an amateur day to the national, and then we're supposed to do another series for the Fall Classic. I'm working with a couple new events that will happen maybe this year, maybe not until next year, but it'll be some fall events. I'm working with another promoter, bringing some other stuff to California. So it'd kind of be some cool stuff.
Okay. Cool. So new stuff happening in the works. I like that. Tell me about the process of putting a race on. I got a little taste of it when we did the Elsinore Grand Prix a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I thought I maybe wanted to get into doing just like a one-off event here or there. And after that experience, and we made very little money.
Yeah.
It was so much work, like physical work, putting
So
barriers
much
up,
work.
laying the track.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think people get how much work goes into it. And I think by the grace of God, no one got hurt. We didn't send the ambulance out one time. And we mellowed the jumps out on the track, and the rest of it's GP. So I think that helped, not having so many jumps. But still, it's kind of dumb luck, I think, because you can fall over at 4 miles an hour and puncture your lung, and you know what I mean. So, and I just the liability scared me, because if someone really wants to be a dick, I don't know, it's scary. Like, they can come after you.
Oh, they can, and they do. But the crazy thing is, so
And I had Goat. Sorry, let me just finish this.
you had Goat helping you?
No, but he was kind of, I was bouncing ideas off him and just asking his opinion. And, well, why did you stop doing this? And he goes, I got sued every single year. And he goes, the last one was a guy walking his dog in the pits on a leash. And this girl walked past, and the dog kind of nipped at her, just barely broke the skin. And she sued him. She sued the track. She sued Goat personally. Like, he just was like, I'm done.
Yeah, so Goat, when he got out of that, he had sold everything to Corky Azevedo, Jack Azevedo, and his son, Corky. So Little Jack and Big Jack bought GFI from them, and they had started running that series there to North, and they ran the Elsinore Grand Prix for 2 years, I think, and then Elsinore got involved in the police department and fire department. The bill was unbelievable.
Municipalities.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah.
And so then,
that was why we kept it on the property.
So my family owned Elsinore. They started it. And so...
What do you mean? The track?
The track,
oh,
yes.
Okay.
And so Randy calls me up one day and says, hey, come down. We're going to run this Elsinore Grand Prix. But I really need some help. because we had did local racing, different stuff. I said, all right. So I got my buddy Jeff Cooper, lived down here, and Gavin Tripp Jr. And we said, we're going to go to Elsinore. And got Amber Wassenberger and these guys. We went to Elsinore. We ran the GP a couple years at the Raceway. And then Randy sold the racetrack and lost it, and him and Brandy took off and went to Europe. How they live in Europe again right now. They're all over the place.
Okay.
And so the track had closed at that point. Somebody else took over the lease, and then a couple years later, we ran it one more time at the Storm Stadium. So we did it in the parking lot there. And that was the last bit I messed with the Elsinore Grand Prix, but it's a really neat event.
It's got so much history.
But it has history, but you can't redevelop the history if you don't make it the same. Atlanta Grand Prix was one of the funnest Grand Prix I ever did in my whole entire life. Ty Davis has tried. 4 or 5 people have tried to bring that thing back.
I went up with Scott Cooney and met with him and tried.
Yeah.
The course would be incredible. We had it all figured out logistically. That city is crooked as the letter L.
Yeah. But the problem is, so now they're saying, okay, they want to go to the stadium down the road and do it. It's not the same. When I went to Elsinore, when I went to Cal City Grand Prix, in town, you started on the pavement. There was 2 or 3 cool little Mexican restaurants and hamburgers, and it was just the whole environment of what Virginia City Grand Prix was, and still is. What Snowshoe was and still is. Elsinore Grand Prix was on the road. You were on Mission Trail, you were here, we went through the streets, you went up the hill. Yeah. It's not that now. So everybody says, oh, we're going to bring back Elsinore Grand Prix. So I don't really care, no offense to you guys about, here's the posters, here's what we're going to do. It's really cool, and you guys got the best turnout that anybody's got when they did it, but it's still not Go Breckers Elsinore Grand Prix.
Yeah, right. And it was the city that caused that. You said we had to keep it on our footprint because the minute you step off, like, ooh, well, you're going to need a permit for this, and we're going to get fire, and we're going to get police, and we'll have to close this road, and so that there's this fee, there's this permit, and it was like
$100,000.
Yeah,
$100,000. It's like that.
And the guy, the mayor, has actually been reaching out to Lou and I. We want to, I really like what you guys did, but we'd like to get it back into the city and, make it what it traditionally was. And I'm just like, dude, yeah, I'm sure you do, but unless you're going to waive all those fees, it's a no thanks.
Yeah, it's tough. I talked to Lou about it for like an hour before you did. I said, I don't know, Lou. I said, if you want my help, we'll come help you. I'll send my staff, my people, we'll go help. And I think a lot of them did help do some of the scoring and timing. But I'm like, it's not easy.
It's not easy. Yeah, I mean,
he had you and Jeremy and some of the best in the business to want to jump on board and go, but it's still not the same.
Yeah. There's just a lot of challenges. And on top of that, picking dates. I never realized.
Hey, raced on top of one of my races. That does not help either one of us.
No.
It doesn't help either one of us.
We didn't race on top of you, did we?
Yeah, we all raced together the same day.
Oh, because you had to reschedule.
I had to reschedule, and I didn't even realize you guys were running the race. And
that's right.
Yeah. Glen Helen had a race for Pastrana. They had to move, so she swapped my weekends, and it created an issue, and it was on top of the Elsinore Grand Prix, and I was like, well, we're a different crowd. We are a different crowd completely, but I wanted to go. It didn't help.
Yeah. There would have still been a little bleed over.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like, oh, no, if you wait a week, then it's this, or Camp Razor's going on, or, oh, no, this event. It's like, dude, there's no holes in the calendar, No. Hard to find. That's crazy. But I think a lot of people don't understand the work, the risk, like I said, all those things that go into it. Kind of what's the hardest part of it all for you? Promoting events. Or do you kind of have it now where it's just...
It's kind of turnkey, some of it. Like, I do everything a little bit different than like a typical promoter does. Like, so a lot of times you'll go to a race, and I go to other races. I have friends that are promoters, and they're good friends of mine, and they're great at their job. But Corky Azevedo, for an example, like you go to his race, he's building the track, he's prepping the track, he's doing it, he's working the whole time. And as a kid, when I went there and like when I started promoting, like that's probably not my skill set. Not probably. My skill set's not the tractor, I can tell you that part. Yeah. But maybe walking the track and looking at where it's safe, where it's not. I'm really good at that. But my goal was to bring in the right people to help operate the race and me to build procedures on how to make it happen, and then visit with the customers. So if you go to my race, it's never hard to find me. I'm in the spectator zone. I'm never on the track running the flag or running the finish line or running the start. I'm not doing that. Mm-hmm. I'm with the customers.
You're overseeing.
I'm overseeing. And there's probably times this year I didn't even have a radio. I mean, my crew is so good. I know the last 3 or 4 races prior to the Pro National, I was in my motorhome all day long. I was there with my radio, but I was in there working. I was in there working on, fencing to staffing to all this kind of stuff that we needed for logistics for the Pro National. So I'm kind of have a layer separation, but I understand every job from I could do the registration to the computer to the timing to every piece of it. So I pride myself in learning all that and learning the procedures, but then to putting really good people in place to do it. Mm-hmm. So if it cost me more money to have, if a friend of mine who grew up with Dennis Smith-Peters, I really molded him to be a track guy for me and to really understand the track. He's my age and retired officer. And he goes, when I retire, I want to go to work for you. He wasn't lying. He went to work for me. And he didn't care what it cost. He just goes, drives his own motor home there. Rusty Holland works for me full time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Super Russ.
Super Russ is so good. He is so good. He's worked so hard. And
is he still living up north?
Yeah, still lives in Fresno. And even he drives every race. Even Nick Way and me are really good friends. And Nick is like, man, that Rusty, he's kind of on it. Never would have thought Rusty would be on it. He goes, but he's got the hose in his hand. He's protecting the guys. He's watching the stuff. And he's overseeing. He's our AMA official.
Okay.
But he's more than just official. He is literally the track control guy with Dennis. So he works really hard of making sure things safe. And I have really good people.
So what events does he work for you?
Rusty works every race.
Every race?
Every race.
Oh, wow.
He doesn't miss one. Yeah, there's no races he missed. He tried to sneak out of a couple practice days this year. Played in my van with Brooke. I got to borrow a car from my brother, all this stuff. But it was really because he's so tight. He probably didn't want to pay for the gas in his own van. His brother had a new pickup. He wanted to drive his brother's truck. And you never know about Rusty.
Yeah. That's funny. I didn't know that. I didn't know he worked for you. What about municipalities? Like I said, with Elsinore, it was so frustrating trying to work with that city. We didn't get in super deep, but we bumped into the same thing in Adelanto, and I'm just like, man, obviously at the res it's probably easier, or no? Is that a struggle everywhere you go?
So I did both. So my company has owned and operated the Portable racetrack that used to be Spinners for the last 7 years, and so we deal with the city. And a little bit of city, a little bit of the county, but the city and the state funding and all that stuff. So they've been pretty decent to deal with, but they're on their own time frame. They're not like, oh, hey, we need a motocross today. We need to get the tractor fixed.
Yeah.
They don't care about none of that.
Is it a state OHV park?
State OHV park. So they don't care about any of that. We literally have $1 million grant fund to build a new raceway. We went out, drove the whole property. We got 64 acres over there. Awesome place. Right down the road from the casino, because the casino built right next to our track, and then they bought the property, still sitting completely vacant. Nobody's done nothing with it. We could have ran and operated the motocross track for 2 years there. Still haven't got the permits to build the track. Can't even break ground.
So just slow.
It's just slow, and they don't care about it that much. Now, Paula Reservation is very unique, and it's for them to have the raceway there and care about it. They really care. Chairman Smith really cares about the track, and ex-chairman, vice chairman Anthony Ravago really cares. And that's the only track I've ever been to in life. Even this year for the national, Randy, I always say Dominga, but it's Meninga. Showed up, and I called him Dominga forever, and Nick Way funny goes, you understand that's not his last name? I said, no, I don't. So he came out and helped us, him and his stepson, and Richard Kupchak came down for a couple days and helped us kind of get the place ready with Jordan. And, you know, when he comes in, he looks at it and he's like, there's 5 bulldozers here? And I said, yeah. And there's actually 6. And he's like, what? I said, yeah, there's a D6 up top. And like the old D4 is completely restored. $100,000 in it. The D6 is completely gone through.
And that's them. They fund all that?
There's 2 brand new D5s there this year. There's 2 D5s with 2,000 hours on them.
That's millions of dollars in equipment.
There's a 360 excavator there. Like nobody has that. And like a 320, there's a 320 excavator there. There's a loader there. There's a skid steer there. There's 2 farm tractors there. There's side by sides. And Randy's like, oh my gosh. I said, yeah, anything we need. It's like, oh, we got a roller coming today to roll the parking lot because this is bad. Or we got blade coming in to reblade it all and move anything. It's like everything is at the disposal. And like we're going to build, pretty exciting, we're going to build a new racetrack there. And so we've been working on the plans. RV is going to help a little bit. And we're going to do some training and different stuff there. And we're going to, like I said, well, we need to mind all the dirt. We need to get all the trees. It's no problem. Take them out, grind them, put them here. Like, almost like open checkbook to do whatever we want to do. And, you know, we're talking about building a new second supercross track, make one into an amateur supercross track, a legit supercross track. We've been stacking dirt for it. They have passion to make it good. And I know everybody says, oh, Glen Helen. We've been down that road, trying to national Glen Helen, and it's awesome, right? It's a great place, and nostalgia. It's old school. It's old school. We talked about that. But the difference is, like, Fox Raceway, like, the tribe has put in more than $1.5 million in improvement in the last 4 years. I mean, they built a $600,000 building, state-of-the-art, you know, announcing tower, different buildings and ACs and tile it in and all there. They're putting in permanent restrooms. You know, one on the top side, one on the bottom side. We talked about running RV sewer in there. There was power poles all over the property. And MX Sports didn't really like the power poles. And TV complained about them. And so I told him, I said, well, we got to get this power off. And the power went nowhere. It was endless power because it used to be a rock quarry.
Oh, okay.
So all these poles, it's just a big circle. But it cost $470,000 to remove them. They said, no problem. Take them out. Wow. They put all new poles, moved them, took them all out. So it wasn't like just cut the line. You got to move live wire. It was the live power that went all around the place that ran the water system and ran all the buildings up front, and they did it. You know, so they have no problem to improve the facility. It's like you used to have white picket fence around it and said, oh, we don't like the fence. Insurance are like permanent fencing. No problem. Fence to every track and permanent fence. Yeah. It's all there. And
it's crazy. You can tell, you know, like I'll use Washougal as an example. When I got there this year, you can just tell the Huffmans have put a lot of time and money
into spent $250,000 in the pro pits. Nobody that walks in that doesn't understand what it costs to move dirt or bring in rock of what he did to improve the pro pit.
Yeah.
And how much dirt he moved. He moved, you can't see, but the starting line that goes up, he took out so much dirt out of the side of the hill. He moved it to the parking lot, these dirt to help level the parking lot. He filled the side of the mountain with big, huge boulders he dug out of there and capped it back to secure the hill back to improve it. He's put a lot of work.
Yeah. And it shows.
And he has passion.
Yeah.
You know, he has passion, and that's why he's one of my butts.
He's awesome. He and his wife, Shelly,
he did blow his ACL out of my race this year. So he comes down. He calls me up. Myron, I'm coming to the area. Where? Hangtown. I'll be there. 34 phone calls. At least minimum. 34. He could laugh about it with you. 34 phone calls to get there. Me and Graham are coming racing. I don't know if it's 4 times. I don't know if I'm getting to bring him. Tabby's getting mad. But they're coming. Him and Shelly show up. They get there, and all you can talk about is racing. I said, aren't we here for Graham? Well, so he takes off. First practice. I mean, I'm talking practice 1, like lap 3. He comes rolling off the track. He comes off, blew my ACL out. I said, no, you didn't. I did. I popped it. I heard it pop. It's gone. And I'm like, you're crazy. And we were parked right next to each other. Yeah, I parked him in the VIB right next to me. We're going to hang out and drink beer together. And he sits down. Graham starts crying. Dad's hurt. We're going home. And he goes, we're not going home, Graham. You're going to ride and all this and telling Shelly. He's trying to call Shelly on the phone. She's walking or something, exercising.
Of course.
I blew my ACL out. And I'm thinking, you're so full of shit. There's no way you blew your ACL. You didn't even fall over. Sure enough, about 3 weeks later, I called him up. Hey, I'm having surgery tomorrow. Blew the ACL out. I said, man, I would have bet any amount of dollars you were full of shit. Because he's walking around.
Yeah.
He wasn't. He blew his ACL out.
Well, those are the kind of people you're glad to have, that they have nationals. And like kind of what you're saying, the Fox, the Paula tribe they're all in, like whatever it takes to improve. And we see national tracks, Glen Helen, who are just not willing to. The fencing's been there since the 80s. It's all fallen over, and they just don't want to put money into improving it.
And granted, it's county property, and I think, Bud's put money in. Bud's a great guy, and he's put money in to improve it, but it's just like certain things that they can't really improve. Like the parking lot is going to get washed away. Things happen, but Glen Helen is what Glen Helen is. I mean, that race they did this year is pretty cool. The Pro Purse was, granted, it was voiced as the only track in the world that gave away $100,000, and that's not true, but
Yeah.
that's okay.
Hey, don't let the truth get in the way of, slowing down a good story. All right, so before we're going to talk more about the national, but Mammoth has become, like you said, 10 days. Was it that long when you started working with it, or was it still? Because I remember it just being like a weekend.
No, it was when in 04.
I went in 1990 the first time.
Yeah, it was the weekend, because right back when I went when I was a kid, I went in 91. It was like a vet race on one weekend that was put on by like the vet series and this SoCal vet and different people. But then the race was just the next weekend.
Yeah, I mean, minis on Friday, big bike Saturday, Sunday.
So now in 04, it was the same layout as it is now.
Okay.
It was vet weekend, mini weekend, and then big bike weekend. Maybe there was 2 days off. I can't really remember, but it's pretty much been the same for all this time.
Does that, versus like a one weekend event, does that turn into like a grind where you're just like, dude, when is this thing going to end? Or
100%. Because it's not just the 10 days.
Right. You're there 3 weeks probably.
Yeah. My crew literally drove from Hangtown Regional over the mountain to Mammoth to start working. There was no time off. We left there. I told these guys, hey, you need to stop in Reno, sleep. Because you got to get up at 6 a.m. and get the track. So we got to go to work at 9. I don't want to drive all the way to Mammoth, get there at midnight, then start drinking beer and go to bed at 2 because I'm going to work at 1.
Yeah.
Not going to happen. So it's every day setup, 7 a.m. on site, every day. Once practice starts, 5:30 every day. And it's a grind. And like these guys, and like luckily this year, like Amber did a really good job of kind of like rotating some people out and giving some people a few days off. But it's a grind. And it's not just that. Like Mammoth itself, like myself and Michelle worked on everything for 2 months prior to the event. Because all that happens. Like the banners don't make themselves. Like Bob Zing built all the banners and he designed the banners and he worked on it forever, along with designing Polo for me and Hangtown and different stuff. And like, so we got to start in banners, you start in trophies, trophy art, BG doing the t-shirt art. Everything is so far in advance.
That's what's kind of impressive to me with all of the events you have going on in different locations. It's not like you're just running one facility, right? And multiple events there. You're all over. So you're having to juggle a bunch of balls at one time because, maybe Mammoth's coming up, but you're, like you said, you had the regional at Hangtown a couple weeks before, and you've got this thing coming up, and you got to start making trophies. And, hey, what does that flyer look like? And,
So we do a run at the end of Road to Mammoth We run all these road to Mammoth and all these area qualifiers. So come May 1st, the race team is still racing full time too.
Okay.
So
Yeah, we haven't got to that
yet.
yet.
So we run a run that when we move into Paula, we run our final round of Road to Mammoth. We need King of the West stuff. We need King of the West trophies. We need King of the West backdrops. We're running our final round, and then we go right into our race at Paula National. We have regional. We have championship. We have Mammoth. It's boom, 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 boom. It's all different branding, all different freaking trophies. Like, Bob's thing is the best.
Yeah.
Because there's been times I call Bob and say, hey, like, Bob, we don't have a backdrop. Shit. It's Thursday afternoon. We got to design it, bust it out, whatever he's got to do. And, or I'll call him and say, yeah, we don't have enough trophies. I was like, what do you mean? Well, we messed up and we didn't order enough because this was a double event this weekend. So this event was a Loretta's on Saturday and a Mammoth on Sunday, or it was a double hitter, a Mammoth double hit on Saturday. And Bob's at the races with me. How many of these do you have cut? I don't know, but let me get an employee to the shop to start cutting some trophies. And this will be a Friday.
Jeez.
Like, we've made some mistakes, and we do better that they keep us on tack. So basically we say, you're going to do all this for us, and they keep a list. And then Amber is really good at going this stuff. And my nephew, Jacob Harris, is the best. Like, he is the raddest kid ever. He works his butt off. He controls all our equipment, all our stuff. Everything's happening, and he's kind of my rock on the inside of.
Yeah, you've built a really good team around you to handle all that stuff, but I can't imagine it happened overnight.
No.
And then I just think of all of the things, all the events you have going on, and I'm like, this dude's a hustler, man.
Well, and so my daughter, Hannah, that married Derek, she.
Okay, I was trying to put that connection together. I didn't realize
Yeah,
that.
so my daughter works for me. She started out as just like my assistant helping me, and my other daughter was doing hair, and then now she works for Road to Recovery. But Hannah is kind of like inside, like answers my emails and helps with all this little stuff. And then now she works for the race team. She does all our logistics, all our flights, all our stuff. It's like, it's kind of a family affair. And like my other daughter half the time has got to help us and do stuff. And my buddy Ryle Croft literally works really hard of helping. And like, especially around the national, like he deals with all the equipment, like any piece of equipment we got to rent, he makes the phone calls, rents it, puts it together. And I have the guys I deal with, he deals with. So, like, I have a lot of help and people, but I couldn't do it otherwise.
Yeah, there's no way. Okay, so this is our seat concepts hot seat question. You guys need a seat cover, full seat, anything for your bike, especially their comfort seats, but they've got wet weather seats, moto seats. You got it, you name it. And they can custom make it for you, different foams, different heights, whatever. Check out seatconcepts.com. I want to ask you how you deal with, as a promoter and you're doing so many events, you're going to have injuries, you're going to have deaths. It's just like part of the deal. How do you deal with that? How does that affect you? Because I was really nervous about it at the GP we put on. Thank God we got through that okay. But like when I was managing Troy's team, we had a bike blow up and Christian Craig broke his back.
Yeah.
And dude, it was one of the just most horrible feelings. Even though I know we did everything right, the mechanic was our best mechanic. It was within its service life, but just shit happens.
Hey, it happens. I've had kids, the bike broke on Anthony, got hurt. It just, the death thing is like, it's going to happen in their sport. It's very dangerous. The first time I ever dealt with was Supermoto with Anthony Hart.
Oh, mm-hmm.
And that was tough. I was younger and I wasn't, it was hard to figure out. And then a few years later, we lost a little kid at local track in Porterville. And we had just rebuilt the racetrack and rebuilt all the jumps. And the dad, Troy, I went to school with the dad and his mother, and she had he told his kid over and over, like, hey, it's a brand new track. You need to roll the whole track. And his dad literally told him 5 times, he said. And he goes, the jumps are different, even the big jump in the middle, and the kid hit it exactly like he did before and over jumped it. And ended up breaking his neck and passing away, and it was tough. Fast forward to recently, like this was the hardest thing that ever happened to me when it come to racing, because I'm so close with Bob Zing, and like he does so much for me, and I rely on him very heavily to make my company heavenly. I didn't mean to say it like that, but
Heavily, yeah.
heavily. And Aiden was like my little buddy. Like I watched him grow up, watched him racing, and this was a tougher situation for me because it was so
Personal,
close, so personal. I mean, they were pitted with me. So like in Mammoth is very, very tight, and Bob's trailer was in my pits, and secure there, he built so much of the stuff at the event for me, the Yamaha scoring board, all this stuff he builds. And heck, the day before, and I guess I was talking to Sherry last week, I went over there and I yelled at Aiden the day before, and I yelled at him in a good way, but his moto was over and he had got second, and the last lap he got passed. So I go over there and Sherry goes, he's in the van, got the door locked. So like go around there. He wasn't smart enough to lock the front door. So I opened the front door. He said, unlock the fucking door. He looked at me. I said, right now, unlock the fucking door. He sat up. So wipe your tears away. I said, we win with dignity. We lose with dignity. I said, all your family is ready to enjoy your second place on how hard they work to get you to this point. Now you need to get up and go enjoy getting second. So it's not their fault you let a kid stall it on the line past you. Happens. Move on. Go enjoy your second. Okay, Myron. He leaned against me, got up, and I went over there. And Sherry told me, oh. I said, I should be a therapist. She goes, Uncle Myron to the rescue. I said, yeah, I'm yelling at him differently than us yelling at our kids for not doing something. And he went and enjoyed the podium. He was up there, and so I live with that a little bit, but I was all alone in Mammoth. So when this happened, my family wasn't there, and I think
where were they?
They weren't with me because
okay.
we had races, and I had a young grandson, and my wife was home. But I think you catch yourself not enjoying what is good about life, and I could be wrong, but the way I say it is I catch myself feeling sorry for myself. So instead of like figuring life out and realize this is part of life, it's the shittiest part of life you ever want to deal with, and I never want to deal with it. But it is part of life. God puts people in places and things to happen for reasons. Maybe it's a shitty reason, or I don't really know. I don't know how to answer it. So even any of the injuries, like I see broken femurs. I've had kids paralyzed. I've had other stuff. And one of my best friends is in a wheelchair, Nick Pappas. And for me, I don't know any other way than to tease him. I try to push him over, try to freaking lock his brake up, can't get on. He beats mean to me. I stick a stick all through the wheel, he can't leave. I used to tell Mitch should be mean to me. I told Mitch, I'm going to get 5 gallons of stickers. I'm going to put them all around your wheelchair, and you're going to fucking sit there until you be nice. Be drinking beer. And he laughs. And a couple years ago, I almost promoted a wheelchair race at the bowling tournament at Mammoth.
Okay.
I had Donovan there. Donovan had a motor. It's kind of cheating, but he was ready.
Okay.
And we had Pappas, and I think we had Brian Manley there. We had like four or five of them, and we're going to go at it. I mean, I had us in the parking lot, and we're going to race.
Oh, jeez.
Me and then Mitch was my partner in bowling. We were bowling together. So I'd take Mitch, and I'd get him in his cart, and I'd roll him down there and launch him. I just knew he was going to fly out of the chair one time, and he'd zing that ball down there. And for sure, we were beating both his boys. They think they were good, but we had them crushed. But I don't know. It's like probably the reason I don't ride, though, is because I try to yell at these kids, too, because, like, our sport is everybody in our sport and these families. And I don't know how to fix it, and we're never going to fix it. Because I could tell you right now, my wife's best friend and her, they have kids. One played collegiate tennis, and the other one is all into baseball. everything in the world is about baseball, and they're going to travel everywhere to play baseball, and he's really good. And, I mean, he's kind of nerdy, so I don't know how good he is, but he's really good. But the Timbos, they have the kids play volleyball and baseball and won races, but I get mad at these kids because they get hurt. And the only thing the parents could think about is how fast we can get back on the bike. And if we miss Ponca City, if we miss Loretta Lynn's, it's the end of the world. Nobody's ever going to give us another deal. And that's not the case. Good is good.
Yeah.
And, you know, I try to explain to him, like, my son-in-law came a few motos shy of winning his last 8 races at Loretta's. And he won the Horizon Award. He got fired in a year because he wasn't healthy. You know, he did nothing but fight to get back to there. So it's not always about how hard we got to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I tell people that all the time.
You can't fix that part.
No, because that's parents, right? I mean, the kids are going to go along with it too because the kid wants back on the bike as quick as he can. But like, I agree. I tell people all the time, like, don't put 100% effort into it. Like, you should do anything that you're trying to compete at. You should put 100% effort into it. But also understand, like, the outcome, don't look at it like a goal. It's the journey along the way. You're doing something as a family. Like, my memories of my dad, who I lost a couple years ago, it's all racing. All of my memories with my dad are racing, for the most part. In my entire life with him, I would say 90% of them are at the races, going to the races. Do you know what I mean? That's like, those are all my core memories of him. I tell people that same thing. Like, enjoy the memories you're making. If little Johnny wins a Loretta's title or he ends up getting a factory ride, awesome. If not, it's okay.
I have a friend of mine. He's building the road on Deep Portola right now, Jack Fowler. And his father is a personal friend of mine. And he lives in Oregon, has a house up here right up off the hill, and the kid lives here. He raced, what is it called? He won Loretta's for us when we were a Suzuki team. He raced 2 pro nationals. But his goal in life was he was going to college and going to work for his dad. It wasn't that he was going to be Ricky Carmichael. They raced every amateur national, every race, and they did it because they enjoyed it. They loved the like-kind people they're around, and they was never, ever an end goal that he was going to be Ricky Carmichael. He was going to run his dad's multi-million-dollar company with his brother, and they both work there now. They both raced, and they were both good. The brother would rather fish than do anything else, but they enjoyed the series. I had this conversation with Bob a little bit last week. I said, he goes, racing is different for me. I said, but there is different levels of racing. You could do it now to enjoy it and have a class. My grandfathers, and they rode, and they enjoyed it. They would go to the desert and drink beer and rode. And for me, I'm a little nervous. I'm not going to lie. I have a new grandson. Most adorable thing in the world. But I could promise you, I don't ride for a reason because I'm very, very competitive. And I don't know if I want to do that. I'm going to have trouble with my grandson because his other grandfather loves to race, Barry Drake.
Okay.
I love to race. We are both going to have enough money to afford to go racing. And my daughter is pretty gnarly. My son-in-law is very mellow-headed, but he wants to race. We're going to have a racer.
Yeah.
And now we got like 4 or 5 friends that all have boys. I will probably be all in on PW50s. So I'm going to be one of these nerdy. I'll be Ryan Villapoto 2.0 because he's all in right now. I mean, he's bought the hauler. He bought everything. And he says, I got to catch up for lost time. I mean, he didn't even make it to Loretta's, and he spent 3.5 weeks at Kevin Wyndham's training.
Is that right?
Yes. And I have a feeling, but I'm going to have to really control myself that we have to have more of life than just racing.
Yeah. I think it's important. I mean, I have a daughter who's looking at going to college to play soccer, and a lot of the people who she's competed with, it's their whole life. Soccer is absolutely everything. They do nothing outside of soccer. And I'm like, she's missed games, tournaments, practices because I'm like, no, we got a ski trip. We're going skiing.
Yeah,
or we
have to.
I'm not missing these parts of our life that are tradition for soccer. Like, soccer is going to be there. And I think it's good for them to take time off. Miss it a little bit, you know?
There was a time Barry Drake would only do one regional.
Is that right?
Because he told Derek, well, if you don't make it, you don't deserve to go. We're going to go to the lake. We're going to the lake all summer. And, I mean, granted, Derek kept making it. That was a problem.
Yeah.
But soccer, Timmy Wiggin, you know, they're racing Loretta's. And his oldest kid, he just got a soccer scholarship. And he's leaving Loretta's and dropping him off at college to play soccer. But he told his dad, well, I want to race Loretta's. I never did that. So he played soccer 4 days a week and figured out time to ride a motorcycle to qualify. And I think, got a podium in a class yesterday.
Did you? Caden?
Yes, Caden. He got a podium. I know he got a fourth. And I know he almost got the fourth. He almost got third. He was passing the guy at the finish line, but he didn't get him. But I mean, he beat his dad for sure. His dad was like 11th.
What class are they racing?
Well, Caden's in the C class, but Timmy's riding like 40.
Okay.
I was like, he got smoked by the 40-year-olds. Like, I've never seen nothing like it.
The 40-year-olds are fast.
Yeah, but Timmy's supposed to be good, but he's so short. His legs barely get the foot pegs. I think when he raced, he had special seats and foot pegs, and now he don't have that.
Yeah.
So he's struggling a little bit.
Short guy problems. Okay, well, listen, let's take a time out real quick. I want to cover the Fox National. I want to cover the race team stuff.
Yeah.
So some more stuff to get to. This is your Troy Designs timeout. We'll take a quick break. Stick around. In the motocross graphics game, customization is key. TBD MX can bring any of your design concepts to life. Simply fill out a design request and they will email you a concept for approval. TBD MX also has a showroom full of designs to choose from on their site. Whether you just want number plate backgrounds or a fully custom kit, the TBD MX crew has you covered. Visit tbdmx.com today and get the look you want.
There is a reason every AMA championship in the past decade was won on Dunlop tires. They are the best. Choose the best performing tire and a brand that has never wavered in their support of our sport. Choose Dunlop. Pro Circuit. Pro Circuit products are designed with one goal in mind: winning. Through passion and hard work, Pro Circuit has operated the most successful 250 team in the history of the sport. They use that same formula when developing exhaust, engine, and suspension parts for every brand. When only the highest level of performance is acceptable, trust Pro Circuit.
At Seat Concepts, our handcrafted seats are made in America. Visit us online or call today. Seat Concepts. Ride the world with us.
Something from nothing. That's what Nihilo Concepts is about. It starts with a spark, an idea, a concept, which leads to a design, and finishes with engineered excellence with the highest quality products created with durability in mind. All our products are made in the USA at our state-of-the-art facility in Stuart, Florida. Whether you are a weekend warrior, ride for fun, or at the highest level of competition, Nihilo Concepts offers innovative titanium, aluminum, and carbon fiber parts for your dirt bike. We offer a wide variety of products that you can customize to your liking. Browse our site for foot pegs, brake tips, engine components, specialty tools, frame grip tape, lever grips, carbon fiber components, motor stands, our secondary on-switch, plus much more. Head to NihiloConcepts.com and see for yourself why factory teams like Red Bull KTM, Rockstar Husqvarna, Troy Lee Designs Gas, Orange Brigade, Club MX, KLM Gas, and some of the fastest riders in the world choose Nihilo Concepts.
The inspiration for Element, interestingly, was from working with my coaches. I sat down with those guys. I'm like, hey, here's what I'm doing. What should I do? And they looked at everything and they were like, you need more electrolytes, specifically sodium. And like most people do when they have a coach, I ignored what their advice was. You're kind of like, well, I salt my food, I'm probably good. And it took me at least a year to finally listen to these guys and do what they asked me to do. And it was just a switch flip. It was just so obvious that this was the critical missing piece to the story. And it's ironic that this salt piece was like the linchpin, the keystone to making all the rest of that work.
ARC levers are the most durable and reliable on the market. They have the most premier class championships of any aftermarket lever. ARC is the only ratio adjustable folding lever on the planet, and their patented design is precision machined in-house right here in the USA. The occasional tip over on the bike is inevitable. Broken levers? Those are optional. Visit arclevers.com today. Toyota has become synonymous with reliability, and for good reason. Toyota vehicles are consistently rated #1 by Consumer Reports and in customer satisfaction. Partner that with a dealership that wholeheartedly supports the motocross community, and it's crystal clear where you should buy your next car or truck, Toyota of Redlands. As a major partner of the BarX Yamaha racing team, as well as personal sponsor of many factory racers and a premier partner of the Whiskey Throttle show, Toyota of Redlands is heavily invested in moto. Check out all the new and used Tundras, Tacomas, and other vehicles at Toyota of Redlands today. Reliability, performance, and customer service. Get it all at Toyota of Redlands. Need to replace something on your bike that's worn out? Look no further than ProX. These guys aim to make everything OEM quality or better at an affordable price. And they've also got some new products coming. So right now, chains, sprockets, anything inside the engine internally, air filters. If it wears out, ProX makes it, and they make it at a quality level that's OEM or better. And they've got some new things coming that are awesome. A complete engine rebuild kits for the Polaris RZR 800s. Need to replace something on your bike that's worn out? Look no further than ProX. These guys aim to make everything OEM quality or better at an affordable price. And they've also got some new products coming. So right now, chains, sprockets, anything inside the engine internally, air filters. If it wears out, ProX makes it, and they make it at a quality level that's OEM or better. And they've got some new things coming that are awesome.
The Specialized Science Club introduces the Levo 4. An electric mountain bike so advanced, it borders on sorcery. Together, you and the Levo 4 become a harmonious hybrid of organic and synthetic. It's a rider-enhancing machine that transforms you into a cycling cyborg. 720 watts of power and 111 Newton meters of torque, amplifying your mortal muscles, allowing you to bend space and time to your will. All channeled through futuristic suspension, with honed geometry, granting super control while traversing extreme terrain at hyper speed. With supernatural power delivery, you'll have super traction to conquer climbs where others spin out. And you'll tire, if at all, before the bike does. Thanks to the Levo 4's super range.
Every good podcast show has got to have an underwear sponsor, right? Well, we went right to the top, Ethica. These guys make the best underwear. If you haven't tried a pair, you don't know what you're missing. Your life hasn't even started yet. So try a pair of Ethicas on. Go to Ethica.com. Use our code WHISKEY20. Gets you 20% off. And give all of your nether regions a break, man. It's vacation time for the boys. These things are comfortable. You're riding. Your butt's not going to get all chafed. These things are awesome. And guess what? They don't just make underwear. No. Tees, hats, beanies, sweatshirts, shorts. For kids, ladies, toddlers, old people, everybody, you name it, they make them. You know what else they make? Moto gloves. I didn't even know that. I just found it out. So get over to Ethica.com. Check them out. These guys are awesome. Whiskey20. Use our code. Don't cheat me now. Get 20% off and put your buns in the best undies around. Ethica.com. All right, welcome back. That was your Troy Lee Designs Time Out. Get over to TLD and check out all the things they've got going on, all their new gear, mountain bike gear, helmet paint. Troy's always set the standard for style, making anything look fast. We're stoked to have them on board. So check out TroyLeeDesigns.com. Okay, so I wanted to talk about, a couple of things first here before we get to the national. I don't know how much you know about this, but after the Mammoth thing with Aiden, I know you and I texted back and forth a little bit. I just was like, I don't know what's happening, but it doesn't feel like anyone's trying to push safety to the forefront. And there is actually some things going on at AMA. I had a good conversation with the guys back there, Burkeen, who handles the Amster stuff, and we're going to have a meeting next week. But I've put together a group of Budman, Jimmy Timbo, and Ezra Lusk, and we came up with a really cool kind of 5-point thing to try to address to make the sport safer in general. And it's anywhere from gear to class structure to, you name it. So I'm excited to see where we can take that and try to make it a little safer, And again, we're not targeting anybody or trying to cause drama with that. It's like literally we don't ever look at ourselves and go, okay, well, what can we do better, to try to keep these kids safer? Doesn't seem like we do anyway. Maybe those conversations happen. I know as a track promoter, you're trying to keep it safe, but you're not controlling gear. You're not controlling how classes are, designed and laid out. Or
we're involved in the class a little bit as promoters. There is a group that Kerry Coombs leads that has put together, class structures and gets all the OEMs involved. And there's a group of 6 or 7 of us promoters that sit in on the meetings, and we do talk about the class structure for sure. And a lot of that has changed over the last 4 or 5 years. If you sit back and look at the age groups have changed, the class structures have changed. Even the 80s with big wheels on them are a little safer to ride than they are the little wheels. So we've changed some of that stuff for sure, and it's come from this committee and group. And before you could ride a 450 at 12 years old. Yeah. Now you can't ride one until you're 16. You can't ride a 250 until you're 14. So there's been some of this stuff changed. The 250 rule, we lost, Tyler at 13 on a 250F at Freestone. And now you can't race a 250 anymore. So I don't know the right answers of, all those pieces, but it is, people are trying.
Yeah, they are.
And I think we can make it better, but it doesn't matter. Like something happens, you get together and say how we get better. I mean, I had the same thing at Mammoth. It's like, okay, how do I make this better? I feel like we do everything, really good, and we try really hard. And I had multiple people call me and tell me, it's like, dude, I've never crashed at Mammoth and I have somebody helping me in 10 seconds. But I don't have cameras in the back of the track. Yeah. Bob makes a camera stand. They're really cool. And I told Bob, we're going to have cameras. I don't want to not know ever again. What happens to somebody and how they crash or what happened, or even penalties, passes, flags, everything. It's like it all makes it better. Sure. So I'm going to set up a little network and put some stationaries back there and have filming 24 hours a day of the track. So That's awesome. That's a great idea. Yeah. I know, the Brett Downey Safety Foundation is really big on lights, flashing lights rather than flaggers or in addition to or however, but. And we have both at Mammoth. We've had them for our races. We have Brett Downey has been at our race for 15 years, 10 years. And I don't mean to, this to come across negative to any promoter. I don't want you to take any offense. I get it. But it's like gear. There's no standard that a chest protector has to meet. You can just call it a roost deflector, and it can break in half. And they're like, oh, well, it's just meant for rocks and roost. Well, shouldn't it be designed to take an impact, up to a certain degree? There's no testing. There's no standard on that. So that's one of the things. You didn't even have to wear one. No, I know. 2 years ago. So they're making steps in the right direction. 24 months ago, you didn't have to wear a chest protector if you didn't want to. Now, in an amateur class, you don't have to, but a youth class you do. You have to wear a front and a back. So maybe that youth is under 16. How do they define that? It just really defines on the class. There is some classes that are up to 16, but it depends on, or even 17 as a youth. But I really think that should be. I look at the pro racers and I look at guys, and it frustrates me a little bit that I see pro guys hurt and things happen. Oh, I broke a rib, or I did this, or I hurt my shoulder. And they don't wear chest protectors.
I know.
So if our pro guys don't wear chest protectors sometimes, what does that tell little Mikey?
I know. They want to look like their favorite rider, and if he's not wearing one, they don't want to wear one.
Anderson don't tuck his shirt in. How many amateurs do you see not tuck their shirt in? Because they're Anderson fans.
Yeah.
It's not that that's a bad thing, but Nolan Ford will not tuck a shirt in.
Is that right?
And it's like, they just don't do it. Some guys just...
The hard part is that those are adults. They're pros. If they want to make those decisions, I'm like, well, I don't think it's a good decision or a good idea, but you're a man. You're a grown-ass man. You can make that call on your own. These are kids. And so, like, you kind of have to put some things in place. They may not love it. They may not want to wear a chest protector, but it's like, well, we don't want to see you get hurt. Like,
we got to figure out how to tell David and Myron, because we're putting our kid out there. So we sometimes are influenced by the riders we are watching too. So now we got to figure out how to tell the parents, like, hey, this is what you got to do for your kid.
Yeah.
Because granted, 6D was the first guy that said, Bob and his buddy, Chisholm and some other guys got together and doing some money, and they said, hey, we need to make a better mousetrap.
Yep.
And they did.
And I give them...
They changed the game. But what I will get, all these other companies said, wait a second, we better up our game. And now all these high-level helmets are pretty darn good.
They all come with MIPS. They've all improved, amounts of EPS.
I met that guy. He's a great dude from Scotland. He was at the races this year, and the MIPS guy, he designed it and sold it to everybody.
So here's the thing. So that's great, right? Helmets have improved. The two places will kill you is your torso and your head. You can snap a leg off.
Torso hasn't changed.
Nothing. In fact, we've gone backwards. I used to wear the HRP flak jack back when I was a kid. Remember that old Hannah race? And then the Fox one got really popular, and RJ was wearing it, and everyone wanted to wear that. I always wore one.
Well, I remember I had a chest protector that had like springs in the back of it that would hold it away from your chest, and it would.
Oh, really?
It was JT. JT made it, and it pushed on you. You had shoulder blades. You had pads that up here, and it had a netting thing.
Yeah.
That like a seat compression. Well, now you have that. You just got a piece of pad laying on your shoulder. Kids break their shoulders every day.
I know.
We didn't break our shoulders as much then. We didn't crash any softer.
I know. Well, now, but we do have, I think bikes are faster. Like I would, at Mammoth, how fast could you really go on a 125 up there at 7,000 feet or whatever? The 250Fs are flying. It's not really affected by the elevation as much. So
they were going 52 miles an hour up the hill.
Up the hill?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the fastest part of the track. But
faster than the freeway, or?
Yeah, because there's jumps on the freeway. Freeway's pretty slow now because there's 1, 2, 3 tabletops. You can't only go so fast hitting a tabletop now. So
that's the fastest part, huh? Up the
yeah.
hill. Yeah, well, you go down at 52, it's going to hurt. Anyway, we're working on that. I've named it the AZ protocols after Aiden, and I'm hoping we can at least push some of them through. Like I said, I've talked to Burkeen, and I've already got that on my plate. We're working on it. But it's a panel of 20 people you got to present it to, and then it's a process.
Yeah.
But we're going to keep working on it. And, I may bounce ideas and ask for advice.
Yeah, we would love to be involved for sure.
Okay, so let's talk about the National. Like I said, you do all kinds of really cool amateur races. How is the Pro National different, and how does that work? How is it different? I kind of want to, I've never really had a national promoter on tell me, like, how does it work?
Well, the Pro National is completely different. So, like, the first time, the whole thing had kind of went away at Glen Helen, and Tim Cotter called me one day and said, hey, would you consider doing a Pro National? And I was like, no. I said, why? And he goes, I said, well, I don't know anything about it. So sit down and explain to me what it's about. So we sat down and he kind of laid out the structure between AMA Pro Racing, MX Sports, and promoter side of it. And, I just kind of put it in a triangle and say, circle my boxes, kind of I do everything visually. And I was like, well, okay, it starts to make sense now. Well, let me go to Paul and make a deal. So my buddy Matt McCall was running Paul at the time, and so I called Matt up and said, let's get with the vice chairman and chairman and see if we can make this happen. So Howard was the vice chairman there at the time. I'm almost positive. Yes, we made a deal with Howard and got the race in. Then October rolled around and Howard was gone, and Tony Ravago Anthony had become vice chairman. I dealt with him, and then it's kind of like there's a structure piece of the track. So you have the Raceway, and so like our responsibility becomes marketing and advertising, front gate, spectators, everything wrapped around from parking a car to a hot dog to a funnel cake is our responsibility. Track, we're responsible for the track, maintenance of the track, putting the track together, building the track. And then you have an element of AMA. AMA is responsible for rules, registration, sign up, penalties, sound testing, all this kind of stuff. And then you have MX Sports that oversees the whole project. And so they have their own staffing that helps run the operation of the event. They run the races, the classes, everything about it.
So you don't have a guy doing the start,
Nope.
the flag, like
Nope.
they're running the operations on the track.
Yes, they run the operations, and then they run all the organization, all the credentials, all the schedule, everything wrapped to it with all the series sponsor. They control the television, they control all these pieces. So there's a lot of pieces in place that make it one big group.
Okay.
And they work on it 24 hours a day, all year long.
Yeah.
And they always work on the process. And if you didn't have all those nuts and bolts put together, there would be no series that exist. Because, even go forward, like prior to when it used to be MPG Group was running the races, you had 12 individual sponsors, and we had the same thing. We ran Supermoto, and there was all these different tracks, and we would go to these tracks and try to put these things together. What all fell apart and went away. Supermoto was non-existent. Hill climbing was everything went away and folded up, and this in their new element is a really good process.
Yeah, it just seems solid, like a well-rounded package. I was just curious from the promoter side, what are you responsible for? So it's like, yeah, you're marketing, advertising, getting people in. You get the gate, you get parking, you're handling all the vendors.
Yeah, all the vendors, all the, food sales. We deal with the food and beverage guys. We deal with the insurances. We do all the permits. Any like Caltrans permits, high patrolmen, all the medical
And
staff on
do you
staff.
need that for traffic?
Yeah.
You got to buy permits and stuff?
Yeah, we got to buy permits. So like, Paul happened years ago, you couldn't get in and out. So it's still tough to get in, but all the nationals are tough. I mean, it took me an hour and a half to get out of Washougal, period.
Well, and I don't know if you saw what they're trying to do there. One, they're having camping at the track Saturday night now, but he's also doing some entertainment. We did a live post-race show at the track as soon as the podium was over.
Yep.
Just to try to get people to give them something to stick around for.
And we try to get them all to camp. Everybody gets to camp on Saturday. That helps us. It's not easy to get out and meet the nationals, but in an hour and a half, you're fine. If you just wait an hour, you just go out.
Yeah.
And so, all those little pieces make it doable. And if we didn't have all those different partners putting it together, it is a huge risk. What happens if all of a sudden, it was 105 one year, 106. I lost my ass.
Did you?
Yeah.
So
we didn't make money. We lost money.
Because you have to put in, it's like $100,000 up front or something
Well, I mean,
if you don't want to say
no. There's different contracts, but you do have to pay a sanction fee.
Yeah.
But out of that sanction fee, they got to pay all the people that come there, all the people that operate it. They got to pay if there's a television piece that was forever, they had to pay for television. Like television wasn't free. And if we didn't put this thing together, we didn't have TV. But I got to rent the facility. You got to hire the fencing. It's $38,000 fencing, and you got to have
toilets.
Yeah, blue rooms. I mean, blue rooms are another $13,000, $14,000, unless you only want to have 20. So we have 140.
140 toilets?
Yeah, 140 toilets,
and
spread
they're
out,
filled to the brim and
spread out all over the place. I mean, we have 6 40-yard dumpsters.
Yeah, trash cans everywhere.
I paid 25 guys to come in on Sunday and Monday to pick the trash up that people just throw on the ground.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
It's crazy that people just throw it on the ground. It's like, I drink that beer, throw it in. There's a trash can right there. But it's a fun project. I love it. I'm getting better at it for sure.
Is there a solution? Like one of the things as somebody now that goes and just, I'm just spectating really. I mean, I'm obviously in the pits and talking to people, but when the races come on, I'm just like, I'm a fan. I'm watching. I don't go try to go sneak into a tower or a VIP area. I'm just on the fence line.
Yeah.
And they're hard to watch, dude. It's hard to see. Like, if you're not on somebody's motorhome that's got a good spot, or you're not in a VIP area, how can we make that better, dude? How do we get better viewing?
It's crazy, and I get people telling me that, oh, Paul is flat, you can't see the track. Well, you go up on the hill, you can see the whole track.
Yeah, that's where I was this year.
And you could see almost the whole raceway. And then we put a big screen in the middle. Like, I go to Washougal, I just go to the manager tower because there's nowhere I can go at Washougal I could see much of the track because it's rolling in the hills.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to fix that except for live TV's hurt a little bit of the people not wanting to go to the races because it's really good on TV. I mean, really good. My race, I've watched my race like 4 or 5 times. It's really good.
Yeah. Well, and if you're, like you said, if it gets to be 100 and anything, and you're like, well, it's 72 on my couch, and I got snacks.
And Anaheim's really good, right? I used to leave Anaheim.
I still do sometimes, yeah.
And
before the show.
Yeah, I'd go to the DoubleTree across the street. Me and my wife sitting there and watch double.
Oh, the hotel?
Yeah, the hotel. We'd wait for my buds to get out of the race. I'm just not going to sit in the fans and try to watch it. I'm just like, I'm out of here. Well, now there's times I've sat and watched the heat from the TV, in the hauler. It's, sometimes I used to be like 255 pounds. I didn't do very good at walking back and forth every day. So I was like, I already walk like 7 times. That's why it's so heavy, more than likely. But I would just like hang out, and I don't know. It's really different. Like, I've never been to Unadilla. That's the only race I haven't been to, and I'm not probably 100% excited to go because it's hard to get there for me. But I heard it's the most beautiful place ever.
It's pretty.
So, I really need to go, and I'll probably be my favorite one. But I just haven't been there, so I don't know.
Are you going this year?
Nope, I'm not. I was going to go to Unadilla, but no, I might be going to Unadilla. I was going to go to Ironman. I went to Ironman last year. It is the most beautiful place I've ever been.
Is that right? I haven't been there.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And so I was going to Ironman but my wife clipped that. It is her birthday weekend, and she said I'm staying home. So she does everything for me. So
keep her happy.
I'm going to stay home. So I probably will end up going to
Destinations.
No, I don't know. I'm on the air about the destinations. I want to go just because, but maybe there's too many people there for me, and like it won't be as fun. So like I really don't want to fight through crowds to go watch a race. If I could just pay $55 and just get that app thing and just watch it on TV and get a 12-pack, it'd be way cheaper. I could literally spend $55 and save like 10 grand.
Yeah.
So maybe I do that. I don't know.
Yeah. Unadilla is pretty amazing, just from the history. I mean, I know you've.
What's I'm saying, just
watch it for so long.
The history of it, and that's why. Well, even like, I went to Loretta's every year. I mean, there was times I went to Loretta's and we had 15 motorhomes parked on the beach, and we brought our own 200 kW generator and powered them all. Because if Tim Cocker goes, well, you don't want to park on the beach, there's no power. And I said, no power? Yeah, there's no power. So, all right, well, fix that. He's like, how are you going to fix that? I'm bringing a generator. We brought in a generator. We brought in a 600-gallon fuel tank.
Oh, my gosh.
To sit next to it. And then we would have to call the fuel guy to fill the fuel tank up to fill the generator midweek. We had so many guys plugged into it. We were on the beach with power. Loved it. I went every year. I haven't been. This is the 3rd year I haven't been. And Tim keeps ripping on me. You're coming back. I said, well, I'm going to come back. I'm probably not going to come back till Baby Dax is racing. But I literally wake up in the morning and watch every moto on TV. I watch the moto all the way here. And I don't turn it off because they make it too convenient. So if they didn't make it so convenient, I would be having major FOMO and I would be there.
Yeah, I get it. I haven't been since 92.
It's different than 92, I could promise you.
I need to go back. I just remember the humidity, and I'm like, oh, I don't know if I could do it. All right, let's switch gears to the race team.
The fun part.
Yeah, how did you even get started with this, and why? Everything I've ever known about race teams, it's like, it's just, unless you're marketing a product, like Troy Lee Designs wants to market gear, cool. Geico, well, not even Geico Honda wasn't a good example. there's not a lot of good examples anymore. If you're Factory Honda, you're selling bikes, right? If you have something to sell, Pro Circuit, he's selling race parts, right? So if you don't, it just seems like a great way to spend a lot of money.
100%.
Okay.
100%. So the race team started way back in 2016.
Okay.
A long time ago. And I was a promoter. And so, like, I would see kids that struggled going to the races and couldn't afford it. And I still, to this day, I do the same thing.
There's a lot of them.
So Parker Ross was an example. I paid Parker Ross's entry since he was on a 50.
Okay.
Because they were in a van. They couldn't afford to go. And it was like a 2X on his bike. I just paid his entries. And we went through the life like this. There's kids to this day that can't afford entries, and they never pay me. I pay them. And I help these guys out, and I always wanted to do something giving back. I wanted to have a little race team and have these kids and like help guys, and we wanted to do amateur. And then at the time, one of my best friends, Nick Barbieri, he had a young kid racing, and he was on the edge of quitting. And so, being out of it and being done, and Nick was like, well, I love my moto family. Like, we traveled every race together. We stayed together. We traveled in, like, he had plenty of disposable income at the time. And he's like, well, let's start a race team. We did this drinking at Oakfield. And we're like, yeah, let's do a race team. So we were going to buy Yamaha. It was Horton Yamaha was the name, I think. It was the same NSA team amateur that's there now.
Okay.
So he goes, well, let's buy that team out. We'll just have a team ready to roll. Let's buy their semi. We're going to hire Ed, everything. Called Ed Torrance. I knew him. And it fell apart. They wouldn't sell to us because Donnie Lewis was going to give it all to Ed.
Okay.
And they were going to continue the program. So we're like, well, what do we do? And I said, well, I got an idea. Let's just start our own team. He goes, well, you can't work there and I can't work there. And I said, no, but I know somebody that can. He goes, who? I said, LB. So I called LB up and I said, hey, don't call me about a race team. I'm not working for a race team ever again in my
Larry
life.
said that to you?
100%.
Okay.
And I said, well, you need to come meet with me and my buddy. I said, we're going to be at LA Live. He's got a fuel meeting. He sold fuel. Would you come meet us? I'll come meet with you just because you're my friend, but that's it. I'm not working for a race team. Absolutely never. Not going to happen. Never working for a race team. So I said, just calm down. LB, if you don't know LB at all, he does not like to drive. And he does not like traffic. Okay? No. So he drove all the way to LA Live, middle of the day. Gets down there. Starts right on bitching about the traffic to get there. And he had told me flat out. So he got there about, say, 11:30. We didn't leave till 7:30 at night. By the time we had left the table, we were at the Yard House. Time we had left the table, we had already ate lunch and dinner.
Oh, my gosh.
And some drinks in between. I ended up getting a room and not driving home. LB drove home. By the time we had left the table, Terry probably knowing this part, he had already rented the building.
He was away from, I'm absolutely not doing this.
He had already rented the building. He had already called Jamie Ellis and said, we need some racking for steps in here. And he had already called, I think at the time he had called Martini. We had called friggin' Wheeler. And we had called somebody else. He was calling manufacturers at the table because we had no Pacifics at all. And me and Nick were looking for haulers the whole time. Done. He went to work the next day.
And Nick is the BarX, right?
Yes. So Nick,
he owns BarX Trucking.
No. I own 2X Promotions.
Okay.
And Nick's last name is Barbieri.
Oh,
so
okay.
it was BAR and X.
Got it.
He goes, it's like an old bar, BarX. And then there is a bar in St. Louis called BarX. Salt Lake City.
Okay.
It's called BarX. But so that's where BarX came from, Barbieri and 2X. So we just put it together. And so Larry, he went to work the next day. And we just started building it. And we didn't have a manufacturer deal. We had no riders. But it was always the old saying like, hey, Pro X, if you sponsor me, I'll start a race team. That's everybody's model. Everybody's model is like, yeah, I want to start a race team. I want to buy a semi, do this. They build packages. They go to Motorsport and say, yeah, we got this great idea. We're in a race team. But you got to sponsor me for me to do it. That's not how it works in life. You got to build it. They will come.
Yeah, right.
So I started working on Wheeler every day. We made a deal. Wheeler finally said, I have no budget. I can't do anything. But I could sell you bikes at a discount. But, you're going to be a way better team than getting discount bikes. And I said, Chris, you don't know that. We hadn't even hired riders yet.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, you got Larry Brooks and Jamie Ellis and all this stuff. And I said, well, we're assembling a team. So we bought bikes. So we're building dirt bikes. We still not had hired a rider. Cole Barbieri, he's going to go test with us and ride the bike. He liked the bike so much, he come out of retirement, race for 3 more years. 2 more years at least. So we ended up keeping Cole. And then we had hired this Brock Pappy kid. He was on AMA suspension from his dad swinging a shovel at somebody or something and cutting somebody off. So he couldn't even ride. We got this McClellan High kid that works for us to this day as a mechanic. He's Parker Ross's mechanic.
Okay.
He won Loretta's for us. He won Texas. We hired this kid. We brought him over just as a fill-in.
So you started doing it just amateur stuff, you said?
Just amateur.
Okay.
Our first race was Freestone. And Chris Wheeler goes, he walked up and seen this McClellan guy. He goes, man, he's good. He just won the first moto of the P class. And he's like, dude, too bad he wasn't 20 already, because he looked like he was 20. I said, no, he's 15. So Chris Wheeler already disregarded him because he thought he was 20. And that's where we started. We just went in, and Larry pretty much made the team for me because I worked. I didn't know nothing else but work. And Nick would put money in, and I would work and help put money in, and we just ran the program, and we ended up migrating to pro later. I don't know if that's right. In 2019, they had a new bike came out that they're still running to this day. We took Martin Castella to the first 5 Supercrosses. That was our first Dab 1 pros, and he ended up getting a ride with JMC for the rest of the season. But we did that, and then in 2020, we had developed Swartz raced our first pro race for us at Loretta's during COVID.
Okay.
And then at the end of, he was going to ride one at the year, but we went full pro in 21.
And who were your riders that first year? Who are the guys you've worked with?
The first year, we worked a lot of riders from Kobush race amateur for us. Dylan Swartz left Factory Kawasaki at 15. Went to ride for us and still rides for us to this day. It's pretty impressive. He's 23.
Yeah.
So we have, I can't even remember all. We've had so many different riders.
Yeah, I was
Black race for us. We had McClellan Heil, Jack Fowler race for us. We had Brock Bennett raced at 85 for us, so Super Mini 85 for us our first year. Brock Pappy raced for us. But then as pro, our first year at pro, we had maybe Levi Newby race for us, or he raced the year before. Carson Mumford. No, that was the next year. Our first year was Swartz, Drake. He had first year, and then, God, I can't even remember. Wow, we had
they start to all run together.
Yeah, they all run together. We had another kid that was pretty good, and then we had Preston Kilroy. Preston Kilroy raced for us. That's who raced for us then. He was really good as an amateur. We had that Jarrett Fry kid, and Star Yamaha stole him from us because Will Hahn claimed he was going to be the next Ryan Dungey, and they fired him a year later. But so as a pro, we've did it. We've had a lot of pros, and we've been successful. And as a team, we've paid our bills, and we've survived a lot of years when there's not a lot of teams that have made it as far as we have.
No, and I said,
I'm just a little promoter that was just keeping it going. And these teams, you look at supported teams or amateur teams, and nobody has made it as long as us, really.
No, you guys are doing great, and I like I said, I feel like you're just kind of hitting your stride as a pro team. like, I mean, I see you guys just leveling up, kind of like Club has done. You know, they've done the same thing. They've really come around.
Yeah, Clubs did a great job. They did a great job of what they've did, and I know this year the switch to the Yamaha was a big jump for us. It was a huge financial.
That's what you were saying.
You know, it was like, you know, we had a really good deal with Suzuki. We got lots of stuff for free, and you know, this year we're paying for a lot of stuff, and the parts, like, I probably had $600,000 worth of parts on Suzuki.
Yeah, and you're selling them for.
I filled up a 53-foot semi from the front to the back. You couldn't put another part in it.
And sent it where?
Florida. And J-Bone sold it for me.
Okay.
J-Bone got some old man and
cents on the dollar, right?
Oh, yeah, cents on the dollar. Had 20 motorcycles in it. Jeez. 20 bikes and full of parts.
I had no idea LB worked for you. And I'll say this about Larry Brooks. I think he's the most effective team manager ever.
You didn't know he worked there?
No. I had no idea. When did he transfer? When you guys...
2 years ago, when he left when Roxon came. Yeah,
Yeah,
so he worked for us the whole time. He still helped us with different bike developments. LB is one of my best friends in the world. I talk to him all the time.
Do you? I've been bugging him to get on here so bad, and he's busy. That guy is like...
He's not busy. He's old. He's going to have 4 grandkids.
Okay, I'm going to tell him that then.
He knows he's old. You don't have to tell him. He knows.
Yeah. I think
he's
the guy is
still a firecracker. He has got a... He's pretty good.
He's competitive, and like I've watched him over the years, whether it was when he was with Jeremy, and like obviously it's easy to defend Jeremy, but then like you go to Stu, and like when people would push back against Stu or just whatever, Larry's got your back. If you're his guy, he will kill for you.
Well, he will jump in a pool of snakes for you.
Totally.
If he's got to drag you out.
Yeah.
But if you're not Larry's guy, if you're on his bad side, he will walk by you and he will act like he never knew you in life.
Yeah.
And my wife has a lot of those same traits. So, and my daughter, you know, so if you burn them or did something right,
you're dead to them.
You're dead to them. And Larry Brooks, he left my team and went to work for HEP, and we all love each other still. Okay. So it's pretty good.
Okay, that's good. Now he's doing great stuff over there. I mean, he's taken that team to
another level.
Another level, like huge. And bikes, equipment, he's
pretty smart.
He's very, very good.
He's pretty smart.
Okay, so what is your budget? Can you give me an idea of what is your race team budget, ballpark? And I'm trying to just compare it to what I was doing with Troy.
We're probably in the 1.5 range.
Okay, because we were operating on about just under $1 million, about 900,000, and I was blown away.
But it's way more expensive now.
That's true.
Way more. It's doubled. It's more that $1 million you dealt with then is probably a $3 million budget now. Just think about it. You got to think. I mean, fuel for the semi was $2 a gallon. It's $5 now. Truck drivers back then made $400 a week. Mechanics made $400 a week. They make $1,200 now a week.
Well, this was 08
it's still,
or 09 and 2010. I don't know if it was that expensive.
Yeah, it was.
This is right after the crash, so like money was hard to find.
Money was hard to find.
But the price weren't crazy yet. The prices didn't go crazy until after it started coming back.
Yeah.
But there obviously was a certain amount of inflation, but I just remember being blown away at how fast that budget got taken away with salaries. Mechanics, truck driver, like you said, you just pay your staff, not even crazy outrageous salaries, but it's like, poof, there goes $3/4 of my budget,
Well, you got to think $10,000 a week would be an easy number. So it's not even $10,000 a week. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 team manager. You got an engine builder, CGI. You got 7 mechanics in the shop, and you got an office girl. There's 8. You got a truck driver is 9. You got Corey is 10, 11. So now you're not even counting anybody else. So it's $11. 11 right there. So nobody, and then you got 1, 2, 3, 4 riders. Nobody's making $1,000 a week. So you're talking $16,000 a week just in salaries. So now if you got to fly somewhere, you got to travel. Now You know, it's $20,000 a weekend to go to the races. It's pretty expensive, and nobody realizes that. Nobody wants to, you know, they don't want to work for less, because if they do, the problem is like a team like ours, like we're not the factory team. I've lost 5 mechanics to KTM in the last 4 years just because they have more money. And they could offer. They have a better package. And you can't blame the mechanic because he needs to make more money.
Yeah.
He needs a better position. And I used to get so mad. One day I think I told TK, you steal one more mechanics, I'm going to drive over and beat you up. And he just laughed. I can't help it. He called me. You know, that's what I tell him. But it's hard. It's hard. You put so much in. And, you know, it is frustrating from, like, the rider aspect of it. You do see, like, where can we make more money? How does our sport get better? Hopefully the TV deals get better, and they do make it better. Like, this SMX thing has been huge for, like, even a Team Motor and us, and like the purses have grown. I mean Supercross purse is $180,000 now. People don't realize $180 per event. Motocross is $100 every event. So you could make pretty good money as a Supercross racer just by, everybody always says, oh, they should make more and more. Absolutely, we should all make more. But you got to start somewhere. And, like, hopefully the TV deals, and I hear these guys on the internet bashing our sport doesn't get back, they don't do anything, but, like, they're trying. It's getting better.
Yeah.
I mean, the SMX thing, if a guy can go, like, Derek Drake is such a capable racer. A healthy Derek Drake can go get top 10 every weekend. Finish 10 some points. Go get 10, 5 to 10 every weekend, easy. In outdoors, go to SMX, finish 7th in the series, and make $250,000 in the year. Pretty easy as a racer. Not counting getting paid on top of that. So there's a lot of money, but you still got to obtain that. It's not easy to obtain that and make those levels.
Yeah. It's been great for the riders, that SMX playoff. They've put a lot of money in that kitty. I've heard some of that doesn't, because it gets paid to the team, right? And then the teams dole it out. How does that work with you guys?
It just depends on what the contracts are. It is going to the teams. Now, I don't think there's a lot of racers that are giving up more than 5 or 10% of it. Maybe the team saying, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to keep 5%. I'm not keeping any of my racers, so we're giving it all to them. But it does get paid to the team.
And so how do you guys just negotiate that in your contracts?
Yeah, just in the contracts with the riders.
Are you guys planning on doing any kind of amateur stuff? Like, I know a lot of the factory teams just...
We have amateur now.
Oh, you still do?
Yeah,
okay.
we still have. We have Cole Timbo has been full amateur for us for 2 years. And we did all the amateur nationals, all the stuff. We're riding bikes, equipment, motors, everything. We did elect and give him a learning year in outdoors this year. So he's went to all the pro races and skipped Loretta's. Not because we didn't think Loretta's was a good move for him. It was a great move. But for us in the situation we were at, we had Bourdon not race outdoors for us because he is hurt. We had Leo Tucker that was out that was going to miss the summer. And we had another kid. We'd moved to 450, Brad West, and we kind of needed another rider to benefit our team. I felt that Timbo was really good. I mean, he's as good as Parker Ross or Dylan Swartz every day. Dylan Swartz said the other day he's going to beat me. Guarantee you he's better than me. He hasn't figured out a race yet, so we felt, well, we're going to do the full next series this year. We only did one this year because we wanted him to learn. I'm not trying to push him that, I need him to race every Supercross because he's got to get a ride. I'm like, you have a ride. So we're going to slow play you, Timbo, and we're going to take care of you. And so we did one Supercross. He was great. And he made rookie mistakes. We could have took him to another one. Dad's like, why are we not doing more? I said, because we gave you all of October, all of November, all of December, full Supercross. Now, I want you to win Freestone. I want you to win Mammoth. I want you to win these races, but I want you to focus on motocross. So we did one Supercross, and now let's hone in your outdoor skills. So we elected to go to outdoors with him. I said, I will give you a full season of learning. No expectation. I don't care if you don't make one program. But you're going to learn, and then we're going to go right back around into October, November, December, full Supercross. full next series next year. We'll do every futures with him. It's Supercross, right back to outdoors as a rookie.
Oh, so he'll still do futures next year.
He's going to do futures, all Supercross.
Because he's young, 15 or something?
No. He's 17.
17,
He just turned 17. So, but he'll do full Supercross futures next year. And then when he lines up at Paula next year, he will be, in my eyes, a rookie.
Okay.
That'll be his rookie season, and we will, expect results.
Yeah.
And he needs to earn points and start doing it. So, like, he's earned points this year. He's been good. He's had off races and good races, but we did elect to skip Southwick and take him to Mammoth because that was our event, and we wanted him to go to Mammoth, and
he won.
Yeah, pretty easily. So,
I think that kid has just
he's special.
Boatloads of potential.
Yeah, for sure. So, that's kind of ours. We do have another kid, Nate Abbott. He's really good at Supercross. He struggled off and on. This year, he broke both arms getting ready, jumping a quad that he shouldn't have because he's 17 and they don't think. And then next year, our goal is just kind of probably just one amateur kid because it's so expensive. So we're going to kind of like try to streamline what we do at the race team. Maybe we just focus on these young kids, young 250 guys, and maybe just one amateur kid. We have helped the Pappas kid out all year. We help him, his brother, and so his bike has BarX on it now. We've, supported him in their efforts, but a goal to him to be as a big bike rider for us and put our efforts into that because he's a California kid. That helps, but there's so many good kids right now.
Yeah.
And the rules are changing now that you can't be pro till you're 18. Like, it's a big investment for a team like ours to help an amateur kid at this point. Because say we went and signed a Nolan Ford tomorrow. That kid's really good. But he's not going to race pro till 29. So if you don't have a manufacturer, an OEM, supporting that kid, for a team like ours, it's way too risky. Mm-hmm. There's no reason for us to invest. You would invest $250,000 in him over the next 4 years to go pro. Our best bet would be to just go to the futures and say, okay, there's Katie McNear. He's ripping. Give him a deal. Pay him $50,000 a year, all the equipment, all the stuff, and show him bonus program, insurance program. Let's go for it.
Yeah.
Way cheaper for us. A better move from a team. Yeah. But, with Yamaha, we will have support for an amateur program with Yamaha. So that does help us. Being West Coast, running all the races, the manufacturers still like representation on West and East and everywhere, so that'll help us.
Yeah. Do you guys have like a sprinter or something that you would take to these amateur events? Or
yeah, we have a couple sprinters.
Okay.
Yeah, our team is set up. I mean, I don't believe we're taking the back seat to any other team. I mean, we have full-blown test days. We have a full-time suspension guy. I mean, REP is our full-time suspension guy, and Mark is personally our guy, and he has Rob that goes and helps us, and they're at the track every day we test. We never ride without them. We have sprinters. Tucker Freightline bought us a couple sprinters and gave us it's a rad partner to have in our race team. That I don't know if you met AJ yet, but
I don't think so.
He owns Tucker Freightlines, and they're a great partner for us, and it was a good move to get them. So he's helped us, and then so we have everything. We have a nice shop. We have a full-time engine builder.
Yeah, you guys are all in.
Yeah, we're all in. We have a full-time trainer, team manager and Bradley Taft. That Bradley has worked him. He still rips on a dirt bike, and he's been out riding the guys' bikes and making them better. And you ask Dylan Swartz, like, why are you getting better? He goes, oh, Brad's making my bike better. So Derek has still been at the track riding and helping these guys with bike setups and different stuff. So,
and where's he at?
He's struggling still with the Lyme disease, and he's getting better every day. So it just takes a long time. You have up and down. Your body gets really good, and then can't really handle the heat.
Is it autoimmune issue? Is that what?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's so he kind of goes up and down on the body. They say it takes a year to a year and a half to get healed. Jeez. And it just took 4 years to figure it out. So the talent level's there, but
Yeah.
The guy works so hard. It's amazing. We could be out doing something or at dinner, and he'll still go home at 9 o'clock at night and do red light therapy and oxygen therapy and sit in the freaking hyperbaric chamber for 2 hours every day. He has a routine, and he don't miss it.
That discipline it's
Yeah.
everything. Tell me the best and worst part about running a race team from your seat.
Well, the best part for sure is watching people succeed, and being there and probably being respected by the other teams or the other people. And that would be the best, I think, when you could help a kid and you watch him succeed. Mm-hmm. Probably, watching a Dylan Schwartz almost get P1 that last weekend at Washougal and wanting to beat up Marchbanks for passing him, but in the same breath, loving Marchbanks because he grew up racing with me. I was standing at Washougal, and I was standing with Paul Smith that you didn't recognize, but I was standing with Paul Smith.
I never met him.
And we're looking at the board. Or in the mechanics area, and Nathan Ramsey's standing next to me, and me and Nathan are buddies. And of course, because from racing and being around, and we're poking fun at Nathan. I said, "Look at that board," and he goes, "I know." And he goes, and Schwartz was like fourth, and he goes, "How many of those kids you know up there?" And so there was 40 guys in the A practice, and I think almost 28 of them had grew up racing, and I knew from racing.
Yeah.
And the one I've talked about at Supercross, there's times in Supercross we can go through. And there was one weekend, the top 10 at Supercross had all raced with me. I mean, I think I handed Hayden Deegan his first number one plate he ever won. And it was at the Cal Classic in 2013. He was riding a 50. Mm-hmm. And his dad decided he wanted to race. And I didn't have a lot of guys there. It was more in the little bike class. But Brian raced like the 30 class, I think. And he was the only guy in the class. So he won. With doing one moto, but they both held their number one plates up together. And it was kind of a neat experience, but then granted, we go forward, and I laughed in this sport. It's like, I teased Ryan Villapoto because we become pretty good friends this year, and I said, his first pro race ever, Timmy Wiegand brought him, and it was at Lake Elsinore, and it was a TAC MS race I was promoting.
Oh, was that right?
And he decided to race pro, and Jeff Alessi jumped on top of him, thought he broke his leg. I don't remember if he broke his leg or not. Huh. But I have so many of these memories. So back to the race team, it's the same thing. There's so many things like Larry Brooks didn't drink for 2 years. He said one drink and one time until we won Loretta's. Well, he drank a whole bottle of tequila that night because we won. There was times he was doing 2 shots at a time because everybody else was pussies. Yeah. That's, in his words, we couldn't keep up.
Larry's words, not yours.
I could keep up. But all the other guys with us couldn't keep up. Our truck driver, all these guys were sissies. But those are like the fun times. And honestly, just going to dinner.
Yeah.
Like, we'll be in the hotel, and like Paul and all our guys and the families, and we invite them all. Like Kelly Ross is there hanging out with us and had a brother. It's actually his cousin, but I called him his brother the first time I met him, so now he's her brother. Okay. But, that's what I love about the team.
That camaraderie. And
what I probably hate about the team and what I hate about the sport is we are not good enough as a group, as a media, to tell all the stories. And what I hate, and I try to say it over and over, it's like the first time everybody gets their favorites. And there's nothing against our announcers. There's nothing against our people. But our sport gets wrapped up into the guy that's winning. And there's sometimes the guy that's winning is talked about more than anybody you ever dreamed of. But that's what the sport is. But I think we are not good enough as a sport as telling all the stories. So as a race team, Dylan Schwartz last year at Millville ran third almost the whole moto. Last year at Millville. At one point, they ran down the top 5, and they skipped him. It was just the natural, because they went, and then maybe whoever was announcing that day said something to the other one, then they said, and ran out top 5 is Garrett Marchbanks or Jordan Smith, and fit. Skipped him. And we have got better. Like at Washougal, he got so much play, and it was awesome. But it's how do we balance that? Everything is about the Hondas and the Star Yamahas and Mitch Paytons and all these guys. And there's times we're beating a lot of their guys every weekend. And so how do we tell that story? It's probably our conversation earlier with you. I want to lean on how we tell those stories better. So they don't quite have the team time to do it at the races, so we have to, a race team or as a team owner, I have to tell that story for them. And I have to get better about telling those stories.
Yeah, I mean, it's everybody likes the stars, right? The big stars of the sport. But you're right. There are so many personalities that are hidden away in that 5th to 15th spot, right? And they just don't get a lot of exposure. And if you look at, like I mentioned earlier, that Drive to Survive, I think there's a lot of people who knew nothing about Formula One. This show comes on.
It's the best show I ever watched.
Yeah,
I didn't even like Formula One before then.
Yeah, now people are just like all in. They you got to learn the inner workings, and you got to know those personalities of people who may not be super high profile, but they're characters.
Well, think about baseball. That sport is nothing like motocross, right?
No.
But you could be the best guy on the baseball team, right? But then Myron Short is batting 7. I may foul off 4 or 5 balls. They're going to talk about me 4 times a game, every game, because I get my spotlight 4 times a day.
Right.
There's 9 players on that field. There's 18 players on that field. They all get their spotlight every time. Name one race you've been to that the guy in 18th place ever gets his name even said.
Well, unless it's a leader who crashed.
Well, exactly. Unless it is the guy that crashed and they talk about the whole time coming to the field.
Yeah.
So it's like we're not really able to even do a rundown with the time. So we have to, as a sport, and I've been preaching this to Carrie and to all the guys, at our sport, is like we have to get better. And how do we get better? And Jimmy Perry is a great example. He calls me once a week, and he's working his butt off for AMA or Feld and MX Sports and at every race, but he's calling me with ideas and how to make the race team better and what I need to do better. And he's right. And even, Brandon Short, the media guy for MX Sports, he's told me the other day, like, hey, let me work with you. Let me help tell your stories. And I've been talking about what we're going to do. And he's like, yeah, he's like, I get it. You need industry media side. So I have to get better. So we have to evolve and learn. And so that's our goal, to get better as a team.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think you're 100% right. And let's have that conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
I think there's more to it. Long-term goals for the race team. Do you guys have your 26 lineup set?
Not really. We're working on it right now.
Okay. So what's your long-term goal for the team? Where would you like to see it in, let's say, 5 years?
I would like to see our team. I really don't care if we're even winning races, because let the manufacturers win the races, okay? Let them spend the money on the guys who win the races. I would like to have guys consistently, podium to 10. And I would like to have good people. My wife could tell you this day. She said the whole time we ever had the race team, she's not going to have bickering, talking behind the back. She don't want any of this. She wants fun, family environment. My long-term goal is to bring in outside money, have really good sponsorship, have our team be popular because we've did the right pieces, and have everybody on the team make money and have fun. So,
yeah, and there's a place for a team that is
100%
good competitive equipment, to where a kid who wasn't maybe quite good enough to get the star ride or the Mitch ride, right? He can come to your team. He's got competitive equipment, can show what he's got, and then maybe jump to a factory team.
And get treated well.
Yeah.
So, and only everybody says, your goal is to like build these guys up to move to our factory team. I said, maybe, but maybe not. I mean, I'd be heartbroken if Dylan Swartz was leaving, and he'd been with us his whole life. I don't know if he would even want to leave, but But my goal is I want to earn enough money through the right pieces we put together and build the right channels that I could pay that 5th place kid or 6th place guy the same as he did if he was riding for Star with different pressures on him.
Sure. Yeah, it is a different game.
And that's the goal that I would like to do. And so if we could figure out that, I'm not going to say, well, hey, this, Cole Davies is getting $200,000 because he's a rookie on Star. I want to say, well, yeah, you might be getting 5th, but I want to give you $200,000 too, because I want to watch you to build a family and watch you do this and watch you be successful and watch you have money to upgrade your seat if you want and have the pressure of racing. And that's what I want.
Well, I think you guys are doing the right things. Like I said, I see you guys keep having these little breakout moments, and I think people are noticing. Yeah, so congrats on all that, man.
It's just all about money. You got to find sponsorship. It's the hardest thing to do is to find the sponsorship. So, and there's a lot of private money out there that we haven't tapped in, the people that want to help.
Is that right?
Yeah, you just got to find the right people, and hopefully we'll just keep finding guys that want to help us.
It's like these bigger companies that have the marketing budgets. You have to know somebody there. You just go to the marketing manager. If he doesn't know motocross, he's just like, I don't even know what that is. I don't know what you're talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
you could show them stats. You can show numbers, and they're still like, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
But they'll give it to golf or they'll give it here. So, really. But nowadays, so if I sold Dunlop or if I sold Ethica, they can give me money or give you money, or they can go on TikTok and spend $20,000 and sell $80,000 worth of product.
Yeah,
that's what happens. That is the marketing piece for selling products. So that is what's changed now, but still the life of those guys want to be involved. When you look at all these guys, they still want to be involved in the sport because that's their roots. That's where they came from. That's where guys like Toyota Redlands and it helps them. If we could drive customers to them and drive that, it does help them. And they love the sport. And, Tucker Freight Lines, we're not selling more loads for Tucker Freight Lines. He loves the sport and, he wants to do it and he helps us.
Well, I think you guys are doing great. So excited to see what happens. Tell me a little bit about your personal life here, your family. How long you have been married? You got how many kids?
I have 2 kids. I have a 23 and a 25-year-old daughter.
2 girls.
2 girls. I made it over the edge.
Bro, I'm almost to the
we talked about this. We talked about this golf tournament.
Almost to the finish line here in 18 and 17. But
I got lucky. I got completely lucky with my 25-year-old. A dad's worst nightmare is the boys.
Yeah.
And I didn't own guns. So I thought about buying guns a few different times. I bought a BB gun one time, thinking it hurt many people. But Hannah and Derek hit it off when he raced 80s.
That long? It's been a while.
They were 12. Fake boyfriend, girlfriend. And they've been together as boyfriend, girlfriend since they were 13.
Is that right?
Yeah. Moved in. She moved out the weekend after she got out of high school at 18. Moved down here with him.
Man.
And they've been very successful as a relationship, and now they have a baby, and so I have a little grandson, Dax. It's pretty rad.
That's cool.
12 weeks old.
Oh, brand new.
Oh, brand new.
Yeah.
He's a baby. And I think he was 11 weeks Saturday, so it would be 12 weeks this Saturday, but he's already been to 6 motocross races.
Of course.
Yeah. You can see it, missed him. He's already been to more nationals than most people in their life. But that's rad. I migrated to Southern California this last year, and I have great friends down here that I hang out with and do things with. I'm really close with Jamie and Jackie Ellis, so that helped. And, me and Nick Way have a really good relationship, and we help work at the track out here and help at Paula Raceway, and I just do things, and I don't know. I just have fun.
Yeah.
I'm just a guy that wants to have a good time. Yesterday, I went golfing with all the boys on the race team.
Okay.
And I'm 53 years old. All these guys are all pumped up. Parker Ross, pushes chest out, pounds it when he hits the ball 280 yards. And he beats me like 10 yards on a couple of it. It's like, do you understand? I'm almost 54. You're 20 years old. You should hit it farther than me.
Yeah.
And I said, you still could barely beat me. We kicked our butt on the back. But, you know, I just.
So what do you guys do for fun? If you have a weekend off, you're not racing. What else do you? Golf, obviously.
Well, we don't do all. I mean, usually during the summer, we're never home. I mean, the winter, never home on the weekend. So, really, honestly, if I'm gonna be married 30 years, November 4th this year. I went to Italy last year for fun for 10, 12 days. But I really don't do a lot of family vacations because it's always wrapped around working. So me and my wife would just enjoy hanging out.
Yeah.
We hang out together every day. We sit in the porch together, and I love my patio, and we just sit. And at home, we did the same thing. In Porterville, we sat. Our backyard was all set up. Our TV, we'd sit there until midnight watching TV. Hang out in the pool, and we just hang together.
Yeah.
And we love being with the kids, and my youngest daughter did move back in with me, and I thought I'd gave her to Hannah and Derek. And somehow I even congratulated him at the wedding for taking her, and he gave her back.
Didn't stick, huh?
No, he gave her back after 4 years. I got her back, but she's rad. I love my kids, and
Yeah.
I don't do anything different.
That's awesome, man.
What I do for fun, I get on my mule, and I cruise the neighborhood with my dogs.
There you go.
Every day.
Yeah?
Yeah, my wife is. All I got to do is take golf cart to my dogs, and they will go nuts trying to get in the cart.
Oh, they want to ride in it? They don't want to walk?
Oh, no. They ride in the back.
Oh, jeez.
They hang over the side the whole time. They want to ride on the golf cart.
That's funny. You know, it's hard to find a wife like that. I got really lucky because my wife's my best friend, you know.
Mine too.
And we could have easily grown this way, you know, as we matured or whatever, and we just keep growing closer. And it sounds like real similar.
Same way.
You guys are best friends.
Yeah, same way. We've been together 33 years. I told my wife I was going to marry her the first day I ever met her. I ended up marrying her, and we're still together.
That's funny.
And we enjoy being with each other.
Yeah.
I mean, we bicker. I mean, everybody does.
Sure.
She gets mad at me. She didn't want to talk to me last night because all of a sudden I did nothing. We'd been gone at the beach, and I said, I'm going golfing in 20 minutes. Like, really? You're not going to hang out with me? So...
I can totally relate. Well, that's cool, man. Congrats on that. That's such a huge flex. You know, raising healthy, happy kids and having a good marriage. That's winning, dude.
It's winning. For sure it's winning. And I love everybody. I love people to come over. They work for me. My wife loves to cook and hang out. We moved here at Thanksgiving. We had nobody. And I had all these mechanics. My wife had everybody over for Thanksgiving.
Is that right?
Turn around and get everybody for Christmas.
Yeah.
You know, just hang out at the house and just be there, and this is who we are. You go to the races, and any weekend of my races, I can't tell you the last race that I put on that I didn't camp at the track.
Oh, really?
Every race. I go to Porterville. That track was 3 minutes from my house.
You still camped?
If we had a race Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I camped the whole time.
Yeah.
That's how I do it. Yeah. And anytime you go to the races, you go to my motorhome, everybody's there. And I have chairs all over the place, and we just hang out.
Yeah.
And, I mean, why do you think, like Villapoto, he's like, well, I'm going to park with this guy. You know, we're going to hang out every night. He does have to go to bed at like 8 o'clock.
You got a cooler full of beer, that's why.
No, I don't even drink beer. I just drink vodka. But he's got to go to bed like at 8 every time.
All right.
His wife don't let him stay up past 8. But we all just hang out. We migrate together, and we just hang out. And
yeah. That's awesome. Well, we got our last segment here. It's the Ethica Fit Check. You guys use Whiskey20 to get 20% off anything over at Ethica. And I don't know if you're an Ethica fan, but I got a hat and socks for you.
Oh,
from
perfect.
Ethica. You can, you know, hook it up. And then we got I don't know if you were large or extra large.
I'm an extra large for sure.
We got a Whiskey Throttle shirt for you too, man.
Perfect. Thank you.
We appreciate you coming on. It's great getting to know you, kind of hear your whole story. And you're a hustler, dude. And I love that. I appreciate that. You got so many freaking balls in the air. I don't know how you're doing it, but I respect it. I appreciate that. Last question we asked everybody is, how do you want to be remembered in the sport?
As a good person. That's
okay.
it.
Yeah.
Fun, happy, good person. Family man.
I love it. Seems like you're nailing it.
All right.
Thank you for coming in,
Thank
man.
you.
I appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, no problem.
Hope you guys enjoyed that. Myron Short gives some real good insight into team ownership and management, promoting of races. Awesome stuff. So stick around. We'll be back to wrap up the show. Well, thanks for supporting the show, guys. I sure appreciate it. I appreciate Myron taking his time to come in and share a little bit of the life of a team owner and race promoter of some pretty big races, some pretty cool races. So he's definitely successful, got his hands full. But it's neat to hear all those stories. And just want to encourage you guys to, again, go check out the stuff we're doing at WhiskeyThrottleMedia. A new show with Grant Langston called Code Red. We've got our vintage series, War Horse, which is out, which just showcases some really cool vintage bikes. And support our sponsors, please. These folks on the board behind me, you know who they are. Listen to the ads. You can hear them. But they're really highly curated companies. We don't accept anyone on here. I don't mean that to sound snobby, but we just try to really make sure that I'm not promoting any products to you that I don't believe in 100%. Includes Element, who is our one of our newest sponsors. Been drinking citrus salt here. You can go to our Instagram page, and we've got a code on there to get some free samples. Try it. The stuff is great, and it's really unrivaled when it comes to electrolyte replacement if you're out sweating and working and riding. So check it out. Support these folks. Really appreciate it. Appreciate you guys. See you next time. Yamaha is the industry leader in two-wheeled fun and performance. Celebrating 50 years of YZ in 2024, the Blue Crew is still dominating shootouts and competitions. Yamaha, revs your heart. Troy Lee Designs is the leader in off-road motocross apparel and style. So whether you're looking for a cool new paint job for your helmet, maybe your name and number on your helmet lettered on, you're looking for new gear, you're looking for mountain bike gear, off-road gear. They've got the brand new Scout line and GP and SE models. Troy Lee Designs has it all. They've been leading this industry for decades, and they're going to continue to do it. Check out TroyLeeDesigns.com. Throttle Show, we're all about supporting brands that support our sport. And there's one tire company that has never walked away from the sport of motocross and supercross, and it's Dunlop. When times got tough and the economy took a crash, Dunlop stepped up and stayed with our sport to support it and the athletes and individuals that love it. Their MX-53 line and MX-33 lines absolutely dominate this sport. Every national championship at the pro level has been won in the last decade, and nearly every single amateur national championship at Loretta Lynn's has been won on a Dunlop. So if you're looking for high performance, you're looking for amazing quality, and you're looking to support a brand that never turns its back on our sport, there's only one choice for you, and it's Dunlop. All right, Whiskey Throttle fam, we've got a sponsor here that I want to really encourage you guys to try, Element. If you haven't seen this stuff before, give them a check out on our Instagram bio. You can get in there. We've got a link that will give you free samples. You can go in and try this stuff. And this delivers just the right amount of electrolytes that you need when you're competing at all, especially if it's midsummer, humid. Think Loretta Lynn's, Nationals. You're sweating like crazy. This is the best way to replenish it, okay? Straight water is just going to flush more electrolytes out of your body, cause more cramping. You've got to get the electrolytes back in. This Element provides it in the perfect package with zero sugar. It is vegan, keto, paleo-friendly, gluten-free. This is the perfect product for athletes or those pretending to be athletes. So it was designed by Rob Wolf. This guy is a crazy smart dude working in the science field. Was developing for his own use in athletics, and he came up with the perfect formula. This stuff's awesome. This right here, the citrus salt, is my favorite. Of course, you can get it in a sample pack like this where you can try some different flavors, watermelon, orange, raspberry. Great stuff. Cannot recommend this enough. If you are racing, even at a local level, and sweating at all, which, come on, we all do on a dirt bike, you've got to have some of this stuff to replenish it right. Give it a try. Like I said, go to our bio on Instagram. You can find a discount code or a link that takes you directly to there, and we'll give you a free sample. Check it out. You're not going to want to miss that. Support these guys. They are fans of the sport, and we are so stoked to be partnered with them. Element is an incredible product that I use exclusively, and I'm so proud to have them part of the Whiskey Throttle Show. Pro Circuit is the leader in aftermarket performance and quality. Whether you're looking for a little more horsepower out of your engine, some quality hard parts to improve the way your bike feels and looks, better handling through suspension or linkage arms, Pro Circuit is where you need to stop. It's your one-stop shop. You can go in there and get everything you need to make your motorcycle go from average to exceptional. Pro Circuit's got enough number one plates on their wall to side an entire home, and there's a reason for that. They're very, very good at what they do. The highest quality products with one goal in mind, and that's winning. Check out ProCircuit.com. If you are in the market for a new vehicle, look no further than Toyota Redlands. You've got to support a brand that is supporting motocross big time. At the amateur level, pro level, they are part owners in the BarX Yamaha racing team. They support a ton of riders individually, and they support us here at Whiskey Throttle Media. And I'll tell you what, the facility up there in Redlands is absolutely incredible. It's beautiful. The folks are friendly. They're professional. And if you've never owned a Toyota, you got to give it a try. It is the only brand that I'll drive anymore. If you're buying, there's nothing more reliable, nothing that holds its resale value better. And the folks at Toyota Redlands are just they still remember what customer service is. I guess that's all I really need to say. Incredibly friendly, professional, and just talented staff up there. We're stoked to have them a part of the show. If you see the Whiskey Throttle truck around here, the Toyota Redlands Tundra, give us a wave and a honk. But, man, just so stoked to have these guys on board. Like I said, anybody like that that's getting involved and supporting the sport, we just want to push as many people as we can to them because those folks are rare, and especially when they have an incredible product and provide an incredible service. So get up to Toyota Redlands, California. If you're anywhere in southern United States, southwest United States, it's worth the drive. Get over there, check those guys out. Tell them the Whiskey Throttle Crew sent you. On-switch device, something that was much needed in this sport. They've been innovating and bringing new products to market. Their latest is the new Nihilo Run Cool brake pistons. They're designed to be stronger than stock and provide exceptional cooling performance with less brake drag. Most OEM calipers pistons are made from aluminum that just can't hold up to the heat and extreme demands of serious racing. When they get hot, the aluminum will distort, causing loss of hydraulic pressure and brake failure. Nihilo's Run Cool pistons limit the area that boiling hot hydraulic fluid is able to come in contact with the piston, leaving 2/3 of the piston volume in open air with breather holes to enhance the cooling ability. It's made of a proprietary stainless blend, which is better at dissipating heat. You have issues with brake fade or brake failure, check out Nihilo Concepts among their many amazing hard parts and carbon fiber parts and titanium. NihiloConcepts.com. Seat Concepts is the leader in motorcycle saddles. If you're looking for a new cover or a new seat entirely, Seat Concepts is the place to go. They make custom seat foams catered to your height, weight, riding ability, riding type. They also have waterproof covers and foams that will not break down if you ride in a lot of inclement weather. And they pride themselves on being much more comfortable than OEM or any other aftermarket company. If you're looking for a new seat or a new cover, Seat Concepts, there's nothing better. Guys, I want to introduce you to Rockform, and a sponsor of the Whiskey Throttle Show here that has just been blowing my mind with their products. They've got all kinds of, started as phone cases. This is their rugged phone case here that I've got, which is just bulletproof. You could throw this thing out of an airplane, probably pick it up and be just fine. And on the back here, everything is magnetic, so it'll just stick to anything metallic, obviously. But this little locking device you've got in the back, this bolts onto handlebar mounts, car mounts, adhesive mounts, magnetic mounts, and it does not come off. It is locked in. I have no fear that my phone is going to pop off a handlebar on a street bike ride. And then I like the little sport ring they've got. They've got all kinds of devices that pop in here, but this thing acts as a stand. If you want to sit this thing up and watch something on your phone or work on it, just absolutely incredible. And this is magnetic as well. All kinds of amazing products, guys, for your phone. Kind of that's their primary function. They also have the G-Rock speaker. This is basically made for golf, and you just stick it to the frame of your golf cart and get after it. Got great tunes all day long. So a ton of products, but check out our boys at Rockform. These guys are killing it. I'm so stoked to be partnered with this brand. You know, we really pride ourselves on partnering with elite brands, really, really high-level companies, and Rockform is right on cue. Need to replace something on your bike that's worn out? Look no further than ProX. These guys aim to make everything OEM quality or better at an affordable price. And they've also got some new products coming. So right now, chains, sprockets, anything inside the engine internally, air filters. If it wears out, ProX makes it, and they make it at a quality level that's OEM or better. And they've got some new things coming that are awesome. a complete engine rebuild kits for the Polaris RZR 800s. Need to replace something on your bike that's worn out? Look no further than ProX. These guys aim to make everything OEM quality or better at an affordable price. And they've also got some new products coming. So right now, chains, sprockets, anything inside the engine internally, air filters. If it wears out, ProX makes it, and they make it at a quality level that's OEM or better. And they've got some new things coming that are awesome. A complete engine rebuild kits for the... All right, so you had a tip over in the garage or at the track and you broke your lever off. What are you going to do? Go to Arc Levers, guys. They're the only people you need to check out in this space. Arc Levers, everything manufactured right here in the United States to craftsman precision. The stuff is awesome. Whether you're looking for an entire clutch perch with maybe a bigger wheel, they make the wheel super easy to find and adjust. Or maybe you just want replacement levers. They do that as well. Anything you're after, they can change the throw, the feel, everything you want. Custom. They can make them feel different, look different colors. These guys are dialed, man. They've got all kinds of cool products. If you haven't been over to Arc Levers and seen what they've got, check them out. These guys are being run by factory Honda. If they're good enough for Jet Lawrence, I think you and I can probably make them work. The Star Racing Yamaha team, a lot of factory riders running them for good reason. They're the best products in the business. Check out Arc Levers. The Whiskey Throttle Show is presented by Motorsport.com. It doesn't matter if you like to pull a throttle cable on a dirt bike, street bike, side-by-side. Motorsport.com is putting riders first with parts, gear, and accessories, including some of our partners like Troy Lee Designs, Dunlop, Pro Circuit, and more. They offer first returns free on apparel so you can buy with confidence. And Motorsport.com offers fast, free shipping on all orders over $79. Make your next ride your best ride. Visit Motorsport.com. If you're considering a facelift for your dirt bike, look no further than TBD MX. TBD MX offers fully customizable graphics. Whatever you want to put on there, it's up to you. You're the boss. You want a military theme? No problem. Give them an idea of what you're after and they'll make it. You want to put unicorns on there? Well, that's super weird, but he'll do it for you anyway. They use the highest quality materials cut to the exact dial lines for easy installation, which, if you've ever put graphics on, you know is important. No bubbles, no creases. They fit perfectly. And they offer fast service and shipping, so you're not waiting around forever to get your bike dialed in. So stop looking like a dork at the track. Go to tbdmx.com and get yourself dialed in with a set of graphics that you want, with your sponsors and the things you want to see on it. TBDMX making the best graphics in motocross, and the Whiskey Throttle Media crew and the Whiskey Throttle Show is stoked to be partnered with TBDMX. Follow them on Instagram, give them a follow, and follow along with all of our bike builds as we feature the TBD MX graphics on all our builds. Every good podcast show has got to have an underwear sponsor, right? Well, we went right to the top, Ethica. These guys make the best underwear. If you haven't tried a pair, you don't know what you're missing. Your life hasn't even started yet. So try a pair of Ethicas on. Go to Ethica.com. Use our code WHISKEY20. Get you 20% off. And give all of your nether regions a break, man. It's vacation time for the boys. These things are comfortable. You're riding. Your butt's not going to get all chafed. These things are awesome. And guess what? They don't just make underwear. No. Tees, hats, beanies, sweatshirts, shorts for kids, ladies, toddlers, old people, everybody. You name it. They make them. You know what else they make? Moto gloves. I didn't even know that. I just found it out. So get over to Ethica.com. Check them out. These guys are awesome. Whiskey20. Use our code. Don't cheat me now. Get 20% off and put your buns in the best undies around. Ethica.com. All right, the sun is shining. That means you guys need to find yourself a good pair of sunglasses and look no further than Rockwell. These guys are making some incredible shades right now. They're all designed here in the USA, made in Italy. Very, very high-end craftsmanship on these things. They've got so many different models for men's and women's styles. There's floatable glasses, so if you're out on a lake, on a boat somewhere this summer, go out, find yourself a pair of the floatable ones. They've also got wireframe. They've got wraparound. Anything you're after, any style, Rockwell makes it. We are also working on a motocross goggle that is going to be insane. We are in the development stages of that. I'm helping them with that, as is Justin Hill and a couple other guys. So stay tuned for that. That's coming. They also make all kinds of casual wear. Rockwell is getting it done in all kinds of markets. But the sunglasses, whoo, these things are next level. Check them out, rockwell.com.
The inspiration for Element, interestingly, was from working with my coaches. I sat down with those guys. I'm like, hey, here's what I'm doing. What should I do? And they looked at everything and they were like, you need more electrolytes, specifically sodium. And like most people do when they have a coach, I ignored what their advice was. You're kind of like, well, I salt my food, I'm probably good. And it took me at least a year to finally listen to these guys and do what they asked me to do. And it was just a switch flip. It was just so obvious that this was the critical missing piece to the story. And it's ironic that this salt piece was like the linchpin, the keystone to making all the rest of that work.
Last but not least, Specialized Bicycles. If you are in the market to start pedaling, this is where you want to start. They've got great entry-level bikes all the way up to the Cadillac, the new Levo e-bike, anything in between, man. It doesn't matter what kind of riding you're doing. Go check out and start with Specialized. Don't waste your time on something that's going to break. The derailleur's not going to shift after a couple months. Get something quality. These guys make it. Specialized leads that industry. Thanks for checking out the Whiskey Throttle Show. If you guys liked it, be sure to like and subscribe so you get notified anytime we have a new show go up. You can also go over to WhiskeyThrottleMedia.com and check out all of the content, new bike builds, new bike introductions. We've got all kinds of features in the moto and off-road space, as well as all of the current Whiskey Throttle shows listed there. You can find our YouTube channel to get a complete list by season of all the shows we've done, well over 100 at this point. And also follow us on Instagram, follow us on TikTok, like, subscribe, comment, all that junk. We'll see you guys.